Alrighty, and I think I'm live now. Yep, there we go. There's some people in the chat already. That's pretty fucking cool. Love it when there are people already waiting for me. Makes me feel like a mad dog. That's good. I can see the request for Derek Rose there already. Fuck, you don't around. Mess around. You don't mess around, do you? The internet should come good any second. I think it just has the yips at the start since I got this laptop, but it does come good eventually, so don't worry about that. I'll start talking about the things proper at about the 5 minute mark. So if you're watching this in the playlist, like if you're watching this in the future at some point, you didn't quite catch the live stream live. If you're watching it in the playlist, yeah, skip ahead to the 5 minute mark. I'm going to start getting cranky. But yeah, in essence, I'm angry about a bunch of things, and I'm let you guys know what I'm angry about. And you guys can tell me if I'm being fucking dramatic or not, right? Or you can not, whichever, you know. So, g'day to DCXL Gaming. G'day to fucking just lost all the water. Bear with me. G'day to what does that say? Firelinks. So why will this be demonetized? And g'day to Colin as well. How you doing, mate? And g'day to the other bunch of people that are in here. It just boosted up to like 9 people in the stream at the minute. So if everyone could do me a solid and hit that like button before we get into it. For the people that just got into it, I did just say I'm going to get into it at the 5 minute mark when there's more people here. But yeah, to waste some time together, why don't we all hit that like button? That'd be sick. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, I'll let you. Basically, I'm cranky about a bunch of stuff. And this video is going to get demonetized because we're going to talk about fucking Corona. There we go, already demonetized. I said the word. And we're going to talk about what was his name? I wrote it down. Fucking George Floyd and Minneapolis in general. We're going to touch on because yeah, it's a hot topic, but it's also a very emotive topic, and I've got a lot of thoughts as an American immigrant that I would like to share with you guys, and have you share with me your thoughts and stuff as well. I didn't actually do my beard, which is annoying because I got a one of the things we'll be talking about right near the end when I've calmed down is I'm going to be doing this unboxing from Milkman Grooming. It's my monthly drop. Or my quarterly drop, sorry. I get one every quarter. And this one was sent at the start of March, but then COVID happened and all the planes were shut down and everything, and it's only just got here now. But hey, I'm happy. I'm happy it's here. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, there's we're going to be talking about Minneapolis. We're going to be talking about Corona. We're going to be talking about just stupid cunts in general that have pissed me off. And virus deniers and all that sort of stuff. Like, so this is going to be a bit of a juicy one. If you like seeing me get a bit emo and emotional, like I'm not going to fucking cry, but I'm going to be pretty mad. I reckon I can work myself up pretty well when I'm recounting events. What do I do with my drink? Here it is. That's not the drink I was expecting, but it's a drink. It'll do. But yeah. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 conversations where I'm going to be ranting at you to have. 4 angry spiels from me. And then we're going to get into the positive stuff of unboxing the Milkman whatnots and whatnot. So yeah, do me a solid and hang around and be a part of it because yeah, I like you guys. I hope you like me. I am almost certain that the right webcam and the right microphone are on and everything like that. But let me know if it's not the usual quality and whatnot, because I will, endeavor to fix that quality and whatnot. We've got a minute to go until we're going to get right well and truly into it. You don't need to worry. I'm not going to be talking shit about like America broadly speaking. I've got 4 things to talk shit about, or that I'm going to be angry ranting about, and only 2 of the 4 have anything to do with America or Americans, and the other 2 are Australian or Australia or Australians issues, if that makes sense. So, and then we've got the Milkman stuff, like I said. But yeah, 30 seconds and we'll get into it. There's a bunch of you here now, so do us a solid. Hit that like button for me if you can. Drive my engagement. I can't succeed without you guys helping me succeed. So yeah, do me a solid if you can. And what's that? Popcorn. They're getting the popcorn ready. I think that's what the popcorn. That's a popcorn emoji, is it not? Yeah. Fuck, my eyes suck. But I really should get glasses. But anyway, we're coming up on the 5 minute mark. So I'll just wait. And I wonder if people actually do watch this in the backlog. I don't know. Anyway, we're at the 5 minute mark now. So if you are watching this from the backlog of live streams in the live streams playlist, you will have skipped to this mark like I told you to at the start of the stream. And yeah, cool. Let me know in the comment section if that's the only way you watch these live streams as well. If you just wait until it's done and then watch it like banked up, because that'd be interesting to know. But yeah, no, we're gonna get right into it, and we're gonna talk about George Floyd in Minneapolis, and we've all seen the fucking video. Like, if you're a YouTube person or a person that absorbs media in this fashion, you've seen the fucking video, and that shit's just abhorrent. Like there aren't words for it. And I think that like I knew it was like it's been an issue in America since pretty much since Trayvon Martin, right? Like, if not since fucking chattel slavery, like it's a flow on effect, butterfly effecty sort of thing. That's I mean, fuck, the cops in this country are only like an institution because of slave catching. You know what I mean? That's where the badge comes from. That's where the uniform comes from, history wise and stuff. Like in certain states and whatnot. Like it was basically just a fucking goon squad, and so the relationship between black people and the police is a really, really, like it's an electric one, you know what I mean, and not in a good way. Like it's very staticky. All you need is the tiniest little spark, and like I mean, look at me, Minneapolis. That's not a tiny spark. That was poor word choice by me. You know what I mean? Like that, they fucking choked the cunt out. You know what I mean? Like he had his knee on his neck. Old mate is screaming. Someone help me! They're gonna kill me. My neck hurts. My stomach hurts. Like all of that is fucking horrendous. That's awful. And like I'm telling you right now, if that happens in front of me, I am not filming it. I'm fucking stopping it. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's a big thing to say." I come from a country without guns, and I am a very fucking like I am confident in my own abilities, if that makes sense. Somewhat overconfident in this country as a result of the lack of guns being an issue throughout my entire teenage years and adolescence and all that sort of stuff, right? Like I guarantee you, it is a guttural reaction. If I see a police officer choking some cunt out, I don't care what he did. It doesn't matter. He could be a murderer. He could be a rapist. You are a police officer. You are held to a higher standard. We live in a fucking society. That man, I don't care. Like I said, if he can be a fucking child rapist, he gets his day in court. He goes to fucking prison and he rots there forever. You know what I mean? That is how we maintain our society, by having the people who wield the power held to a higher standard than those they wield it against. Otherwise, it becomes a weapon and not, you know what I mean? And it's like that fucking man, that he should be in prison. And I understand people, like I'm not going to look at the comment section yet, and I will, but I'm just saying right now, if anyone like if anyone has said or will say or wants to go down the path of, oh yeah, but he paid with a fraudulent check, or like you don't want to, if you're not going to, if you can't, blah, 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 victim blaming, basically, right? Like, oh, he was paying with a fraudulent check. Oh, they said he was resisting before the video started. I don't give a fuck. He deserves his day in court. Like that's what you when you sit there and you go, oh yeah, look, obviously the cop did the wrong thing. Like, because this is a conversation I've had with people, right? No one here in America, but friends back in Australia. Like, oh well, he was doing the wrong thing, and sometimes shit happens. It was an accident. You know what I mean? Like the cop did the wrong thing, absolutely, but sometimes you just do the wrong thing, and he didn't mean to do it. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Killing someone negligently is still killing someone. That's abhorrent. That's horrendous. That guy deserves to go to prison. If you say to me, if you try and make the argument that if he hadn't have paid with a fraudulent check, or if he hadn't have been doing whatever misdemeanor crime it was that he had done, then none of it would have happened. What you're saying is that he deserved to die for paying with a misdemeanor check, right? And the whole argument of well, don't do fucking crimes if you don't want the police to be horrible police officers that are terrible at their job and to fucking straight up murder you, right? Like if your whole concept of that, if your defense against that is don't do crime, or oh well, he did crime, the difference, like you're not seeing the difference. And maybe it hurts, like maybe this one has affected me so much because my son is going to be a black man. You know what I mean? And so that could be my son. literally in this country, and not in this country on the whole. Like I'm wary of getting emotive and emotional and talking shit about America on the whole, because this isn't America. All right? A lot of people say this is America, and I empathize with the feelings. I don't empathize. I could never understand. I sympathize. Like I try to empathize, but I understand that there is a level I am never going to be able to get on in that context. You know what I mean? Because I just do not have that lived experience, and I get that. Um, and like it just. I have fucking held weed in my hand in front of a drug cop, and said, "Yeah, you fucking got me." You know, I have been on a train station where a police sniffer dog ran up to me, and I started patting him, and the cop literally pulled his gun out, said, "Get your hands off the dog." And I was like, "Sorry, man, I was just patting him because he did a good job. There is weed in my pocket," you know, and because it was fucking 1.5 grams, the cop literally said the words to me, "That's not worth the paperwork. Put it away, son." He didn't confiscate it. He didn't bin it. He didn't do anything with it. And that is because of how I look. It is. It's because he wasn't scared of me. He wasn't thinking about something else that he's done in his white line of work. And I mean, it was before I had all the ink. So, like, obviously, probably would have gone differently had I had all the tattoos and everything as well. But, different period of my life. And that's not the only time I've talked myself out of an issue with the police. That's not the only time that the police have given me a break just because I'm being one of the boys. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he's just being, yeah, he was being a bit silly. You know what I mean? And it's the difference. Like, your skin color isn't a weapon. You know, to automatically be assumed that you're dangerous just based on what you look like. You know what I mean? Like, that is fucking. Like, I understand to a point, like, because of all the tattoos and everything I get, I understand. Like, I've only had these tattoos, a while now, a couple of years, 3 years, but I do understand the profiling, the sideways looks, and you can see them, and you know that they're there, and you know that they're happening, and it is plain as day when somebody is watching you when you're walking around a shop. I have no fucking idea how people handle that from birth, here or anywhere. I don't know how people walk around with that for their entire lives. Like, these are the people that, like, I've always resented the fact that when I see a police officer, I start to feel cautious and run over the things in my head of, oh, wait, what might I be doing wrong right now? Like, that is fucked up. That is not the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to see a police officer and feel secure and go, all right, cool, I'm safe at the minute because no one's going to fucking do shit with him around. He's the fucking cape-wearing superhero, you know what I mean? That's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be the fucking good guys. They're supposed to be the good guys, And yet we've got people who are begging for their life with a knee in their neck going, he's going to fucking kill me. Like, please help me. I can't breathe. And it's just... Like, I know I've spent fucking 7 minutes on it to now say I have no words, but I just don't, Like, I don't get it. Like, I understand the hit first mentality. The best defense is a good offense. But if you're that much of a dense cunt that you can't take breath, and like, if your response, if you're in a moment of confrontation, if your fight or flight or freeze response is to fight, no questions asked, fuck off out of the public sector. Not even out of the police force. Don't be a teacher, don't be a librarian, don't be a fucking anything that involves other people, you sycophantic fucking cunt. Like, I don't understand, and I do. Like, I understand all the different fucking hot pockets of shit that go into it. It's a hotbed of racially charged fucking feelings on both sides. You know what I mean? Like, there is absolute reason not to trust the police if you are a black man, but there is absolute reason for police officers in certain states to be wary of black men who they know have committed a crime. But that's not just unique for black men. That's for all men or all women or all humans. You know what I mean? But it's seen as like, your skin color is just seen as an automatic threat. There's no, like, they call it the white people smile for a reason. When you're walking past people and, like, because it is literally like, you're just not threatening. Like, it's white people. Other than fucking in the Middle East and everywhere that fucking we've gone colonially and all that sort of stuff, like, in a one-on-one fight, generally speaking, white people aren't viewed as dangerous. On a personal level, and again, I'm talking my own perspective here. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. You disagree with me, but I'm on a bit of a fucking rant and I'm angry and I want to get it all out. So we can disagree once I've calmed down and I've read some comments and then, and whatnot. But like personally, right? If I'm having a verbal stoush with someone, if I'm at the pub and somebody's in my face and everything like that, 9.5 times out of 10, if it's a white dude, I am not worried. I don't care how big he is. I don't care what he looks like. If he's a white dude, he's probably not scrapped as much as I have. You know what I mean? And so I look at him and go, yeah, I can take you. And then there's this underlying thing, and it's not just me. I know it's not, but I can only speak for myself because I wouldn't want to speak for anyone else and everything. But there is that underlying. That black guy could kick the shit out of me. He could be Steve fucking Urkel for all I know, but there is that automatic response of, all right, he must be more threatening just because we've grown up in a society, or I grew up in a society that like the only time a black person would be on screen in a superhero movie up until Black Panther was if he was a fucking villain. You know what I mean? That's the only way those actors got screen time. I grew up with fucking Crime Time as a tag team in WWE, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Like the Vince McMahon said the fucking N-word live to John Cena with Booker T 5 feet away from him. Like we have grown up, or we've been raised. The people of my generation, at any rate, have been raised from. I just saw What About Hancock from Harrison just there. That's the first comment I've read. Right. You're very good. That's a very good point. Hancock was a black superhero, but it's Will Smith, and it was a shit film, so I don't count that. But and even that's still pretty recent. You know what I mean? Like I was probably already an adult before that movie came out, if not close to it. You know what I mean? Like I can't remember, other than Morgan Freeman or Sam Jackson, can't remember a positive. Like, oh, maybe Denzel as well, but that's 3 people. That's I can count on. You know what I mean? Like there is a culture of difference, and it's a thing that I try and explain. Like somebody commented the other day and was like, oh, why do Australians get butthurt about the Native American mascots and fucking all that sort of stuff, right? Because after the Patrick Kane video, which incidentally the NHL blocked in Russia, but I'm still earning money from in Canada and America. Like fucking, that's another thing. Like it's not on my list, but not the America. I was about to say the American Hockey League. Like that's a whole different fucking league. Like the National Hockey League. They don't make fucking sense. They don't make sense, right? They'll block some videos in some countries, but then they'll let me earn money off those exact same videos in other countries. Like, I just want to fucking find someone from the NHL and be like, yo, fucking explain to me what the go is. Why is this happening? Like, it can't be a telecast thing. Can't be telecast rights or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But anyway, getting back to it. There is an otherism. You know what I mean? People talk about I mean, with the Blackhawks and the Patrick Kane video in particular, I was like, Patrick Kane's actually a good enough player that he's kind of making me want to buy a bit of merch, like buy a Blackhawks hat or a Patrick Kane jersey or something like that. But I just can't get past the fucking Native American as a moniker because it's an othering process, like even if you say, it's honoring, we're honoring those people, like, it's an homage to those people, which Redskins definitely fucking isn't. Let me throw that out there. But anyway, even if you want to make the argument, that's we're paying you homage, you know what I mean? Like, you're still othering them, you're still going, those are other things that aren't human that are better than, they're okay. Well, they're humans, but they're better types of human than us, which is thus separating you from them, And people ask me all the time, what do you think about the Celtics? Same fucking thing. Stupid fucking name, dumb fucking premise. I get it. I understand it. Even the Vikings, like I get that too. Vikings, imagine being the first monk to see a fucking Viking, right? The French dude at fucking wherever it was, you know what I mean? Like I can't remember dates and names now because I'm fucking angry. I hate it when that happens. But the French monk, when the Vikings first fucking rocked up at Lindsfagen or wherever it was, right? And because of genetics and because of their isolation for a significant amount of time, like thousands of years, they were all, and because, fun fact, literally every male human ever, unless he has a birth defect or a disability of some kind or something like that, every male ever is taller than his mother, right? That's just That's how humans work. That's why in 2,000 years ago, the average height was like 4'6" or something, and we've just fucking grown. Obviously, that was hyperbole, but you know what I'm saying. Imagine being that first monk, right? When you're fucking having a sip of your fucking wine, right? Having a look out to the shore. This big fuck off dragon type boat that looks the same in either direction rocks up. The cunts that get off the boat are 2 feet taller than you, are foot wide. Like, you'd shit your pants. But anyway, I can't remember. Like, even that. Like, I understand why you would pick those things and why, but it's an othering process. You know what I mean? And there is a distinct othering feel in certain parts of America. And again, I'm not trying to be critical of the country. I fucking love it here. I moved here for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not coming here to shit on the country. And because I know a lot of people, whenever anyone that's foreign born or anyone that's not yet a citizen, even though they're trying to become one, talks or in any way that's any capacity critically about America, there's like a fucking loop that people get stuck on, and it's generally the dumb cunt rednecks that wouldn't talk to you anyway. But there's a loop of, well, if you don't like it, go home. If you don't like it, go home. If you don't like it, go home. And yeah, I think Jim Jeffries says it best. No, I like it here. Your First Amendment says I can say any other amendment sucks dicks if I want. Like, fuck you. I will fucking use my American rights just like you use your American rights. Just because I haven't had them as long as you have doesn't mean I don't actually have them, But anyway, if we disagree, let's just agree to disagree once I've gone through all the comments and all that jazz. I'm not trying to piss you off or lose subscribers. Let me just say that, right? But if you're more concerned about the riots in fucking Minnesota, right? If you're more worried about the riots and the looting that are happening than you are about institutional murder, it's there's more than a scroll's worth of names, right? Like, I saw a meme that was 4 full fucking scrolls of names, and that's just within the last 2 years, 3 years, or whatever, of black people that have been killed by the police in this country. And that's fucked up, man. That's like, there is no way to sugarcoat that. There is no way to be like, oh yeah, I love this country, and that's a bit, that's more than a bit, that's fucked. Like, that's straight up murder. That guy's dead now. Like, that's fucked. Like, anyway, we're gonna move on. But I just got, yeah, if you're more concerned about the riots in Minnesota than you are about the cause for why they're happening, which is a man being murdered by the government brute squad in the police force, because that's what they were being at that time. Like, I am a fierce advocate for good, proper police work and a community, a decent community full of community-minded people. It starts at the top. It starts with the mayor, and it starts with an accountable police force, right? And that's not a police force that holds everyone else to account. That's a police force that is held to account by the taxpayers and held to a higher standard. That is where your society starts. That is where the community begins. And if we don't have that, what have we fucking got? You know what I mean? And so I'm a bit angry, like, I'm angry about it because, like, what do we do? Like, what do we do? We can't do anything. And I completely sympathize with people who are looting and rioting. If I was in Minnesota, if it had happened in Niagara Falls, if it had happened in fucking Buffalo, if it had happened, like, close by, is what I'm saying, I'd be fucking breaking windows alongside people, and it'd mean my green card wouldn't get approved, and maybe this fucking live stream, somebody up top will watch it, and maybe that will mean my green card doesn't get approved. But fuck you, I make this country better, approve it. Like, I'm allowed to have opinions. Fuck you. This is shit, and it should change. And things need to change. I don't know what needs to change. I haven't been here long enough to tell you the exact pinpoint parts of where exactly everything went wrong for the relationship between black people specifically in the police, black men specifically in the police, even more so, but Shannon deals with it as well, like, all you have to do is look into our travel playlist and look at the video in Utah, right, where we got pulled over to the side of the road, or we were on the side of the road with, letting my dog piss, and we got separated, and there were 6 different cop cars because some random had called in to say, I was beating her up, right? Which is just, we weren't even arguing, like we were disagreeing about what the smell in the car was, but it wasn't even a fucking aggressive, like it was a light-hearted conversation, like we were trolling each other, and some other cunt that had pulled over near us just to, keep his eyes out and watch through the fucking vines, and like that's again, like, not uniquely American. Not uniquely American. It's happened pretty much in every Western country I've ever been to. But mind your fucking business, cunt. Like, if it's got nothing to do with you and there is nothing absolutely notably going wrong, right? Off you fuck. Like, my life has nothing to do with yours, you know what I mean? But anyway, this random fucking Good Samaritan fuckwit in Utah called the police, and we had 6 different cars, right? With like maybe 10 different police officers who had separated us, got us to tell our stories of where we were and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, that is fucked up. And like, I was joking at the time around with the guy, being like, because, oh mate, like, my only form of ID was my passport, because it was like a month and a half into being in America, right? If that, a month, like it's 3 weeks being in America or something. Fucking not even a week and a half. However long it takes to get from LA to Utah. Like, I think it was one of our second or third day driving. You know what I mean? From after we had fucking, I had jet lagged and everything. We spent a good 4 or 5 days in LA, fucking eating edibles and smoking weed and getting my body clock right, and then we left for the drive. But yeah, Utah, and they stopped us, and I was joking around, like, because I could not be any more disbelieving about how much of a fuckwit he was being. He kept telling me that, like, people that look like me, i.e. people with tattoos, and he was perfectly okay with saying that. Like, I was like, that's profiling, bro. And he's like, yeah, it works. Profiling works. So, like, it's interesting that you know the name for it. And I'm like, that's because it's illegal where I'm from. Like, you fucking lunatic. But anyway, like, he kept putting his hand on his gun, and like, I just didn't understand the seriousness of it at that point. You know what I mean? And so, at the point where he said, "Oh, this, is this a fake passport?" I was like, "Yeah, good work, mate." Like, set of customs officials at Sydney, set of customs officials at LA, they both missed it. People who've been specifically trained in it, I presume, for months and months before they go in the gig, they missed it. But little old regular duties cop in Utah, you nailed me, man. Like, here, cuff me up, to which some of the other cops were fucking laughing. You know what I mean? They were like, yeah, you're being a bit of a dickhead. You know what I mean? I got back in the car, and Shannon was like, babe, you can't do that shit here. Like, and, I then had that interaction with the police officer the other day at the 7-Eleven. If you don't know what that was the guy nearly caused a car accident. I was happened to be looking up at the right time, looked through his passenger car window. He was texting. He looked up, fucking slammed on the brakes and turned into the 7-Eleven because that's where he wanted to go. No indicator, nothing, right? There was a car that had been on his ass, had to swerve onto the wrong side of the road to get around him because he braked too quick, right? The cop. It wasn't safe what he'd done. There was no car coming on the other side or anything like that. But if there had been, it would have been a car accident, and it would have been that fucking car's fault. So typical indignant me, like that has grown up with a police force that are held to account, and with a police force that literally, and again, not comparing the two countries, like or saying Australia is better than America in any stretch of the imagination, or you know what I mean? Like, it is. Like, the police work for you in Australia. You are supposed to, like, if you see a police officer doing the wrong thing, you are supposed to be like, oi, cunt, you're held to a higher standard. Fucking, what are you doing? And so that's basically what I did. I was probably a little bit fucking, about it because I'm a dickhead. But it's that's just how it is, And I came home and I walked home safe. But like, yeah, Shannon straight out was like, you can't do that in this country, and you especially can't do that if you're with me or my brother or anything like that. You know what I mean? Because this, like, we have a different relationship with the police that you're used to, and it's hard because, like, and I mean, I wasn't going to stay on this dot point for this. I've got 3 other things I want to fucking rant to you guys about, but like, it's hard to get used to the fact that the police officers aren't the best of us. You know what I mean? And I know that seems like a fucking glib thing to say, but I didn't like, I knew they were bad, right? Like, I knew that the cops in various states, like, to be honest with you, I thought it was a problem that was pretty much localized to the south. You know what I mean? But you can't get much more northern than fucking Minnesota. So that throws that fucking lens that I was viewing it through right out the window. You know what I mean? And so there's that. But I just didn't anticipate. Like, I knew that there'd be fucking power trips. I knew that there'd be, like little dick syndrome, you know what I mean? Like little chihuahuas that put the badge on and feel like they're Dobermans, you know what I mean? Like I knew that would be a thing, but I didn't realize that the fucking police force would be like the cunts that were eating glue in elementary school. You know what I mean? Like they're not just dead shits; they're like lower than the dead shits in the general population, from what I can see. And I don't mean that in an offensive. Like if you're a subscriber of mine and you're a police officer in this country, right? Like I kind of want to chat with you on an individual basis. I want like to pick your brain and understand how, like, eat with all of this going on and all of these things, how you still maintain like pride in that job. And again, I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but like genuinely, how do you sleep at night? If you're a police officer in this country, how do you sleep at night knowing that how you're perceived by a significant portion of the population? You know what I mean? And it doesn't even have to be the majority. It doesn't have to be the majority. You know what I mean? Like it could be like fucking Bly got mutinied on the Bounty by fucking 20% of his fucking crew. You know what I mean? Like you don't need a majority to be told you're fucking up, and there are riots happening. You know, like it's riots, and it's like I don't know. I just think it's a hard one, especially as a white person, because I don't have that lived experience. I'm never going to have that lived experience. But my son will be a black man. He will be born in a week and a half, 2 weeks, you know, and I'm not comfortable with the world that he's being born into. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what it comes down to, and that might sound hyperbolic. It might sound like I'm you know, like fucking being hysterical or whatever. But like, there were hundreds of names on that meme I saw. Like, it wasn't hundreds, but it felt like hundreds. It was enough. It was more. It was more than zero. Like, I can't even. You know, I feel like that's what it is, and I'm going around in circles. So I'm going to read some comments and I'm going to try not to argue with people or anything like that. Like, obviously, because I've pretty much said my piece. And I'll read the comments, and if I need to say more of my piece, I will. But yeah, we'll see how we go. So there are all the highs. There's the popcorn. Da, da, da. Oh, okay, yeah. What the cop did with fucked up, and I understand, but looting someone else's business, that's not the way. Okay, so I disagree with you there, but I also don't disagree with you. So I'll explain to you my thought pattern along those lines, right? So when you get punched in the face, right? So for example, I don't know how long it's been since you were punched in the face. It's been a while for me. But when you get punched in the face, it's very hard to be rational, you know, and to approach the next 30 seconds rationally. If you get punched in the face, generally speaking, what you're going to do next is punch someone, like punch that person back, or you're going to fall to the ground like a sack of shit, you know, or that's basically you're going to leg it. You know what I mean? You're going to run away. And so in this metaphor, George Floyd getting murdered by the police force, the people whose job it is like to protect and serve. Protect being the operative word. There's not much protection going on with a kneecap in a fucking anyway. Like in this metaphor, that is the black community being punched in the face, because it is. It's just, it's past the point of being slapped in the face now. It's past the point of a slap in the face. It's gone beyond all sense of reason, beyond all sense of, oh well, he just didn't know, and you know, maybe if this, maybe like that was straight up murder, and we all saw it. You know, like there is no moving around it. It was unnecessary, like at best unnecessary force occasioning death, therefore manslaughter and negligence and like all sorts of different things. That's at best. At worst, fucking murder, bro. You know? And so what then happens, right? After you, like, at one point, at one death, looting probably could go down some different avenues. I'm not going to tell you not to loot, because your emotional reactions are just as valid as my emotional reactions, and I don't have as big a skin in the game, so it stands to reason that I am going to be able to be more rational because it doesn't affect me as much. You know what I mean? If it's one death, don't loot. That makes sense. But at the point that you're getting into fucking triple digits, yeah, within a year or two max, yeah, like at the point that you're getting into that higher number, it's not individual bad cops anymore. And sure, all of these different individual deaths have been individual horrible people and bad cops, bad people, bad like fucking carbon based life forms. You know what I mean? Like just absolute horrible epitome of fuckwits, right? Like not saying in any capacity that these people are like the thick layer of skin, the thin layer of skin that develops on off milk has more integrity than these fucking bastards. You know what I mean? Has like their pond scum has more worth because at least that fucking feeds some of the fish. You know, like I cannot be stronger in what I'm saying in that regard. But once you have a list of police officers that have murdered people just for looking the way you look, right? And that's what it is. That's like you can say, oh, he was selling loose cigarettes, he'd cashed a wrong check, oh, he was wearing a hoodie, he was fucking there were break-ins in the area. Like those four are an immigrant, like those are real things that fucking happened. Those are real people. Those are real examples I just used off the top of my head as an immigrant to this country. How fucked up does shit have to be in order for me to have the capacity to do that? But anyway, the fucking, like, if you're at the point where all of those things have happened and more from the police force, yeah, it is no longer like you've been punched in the face and then kicked in the dick and you're on the ground and people are kicking you in the ribs, yeah? So the only way you can claw out is to grab whatever ankle you see, punch whatever face falls in the way of your fist, yeah? And whether that's police officers or not, it doesn't really matter because you're crying out, you're screaming out in pain because of all the things that have been happening to your people and to the people that were supposed to be our people, and it's your own kin, the people who are supposed to be looking after you as Americans who are doing it. And so, like, as far as the burning people that had nothing to do with it mentality, if we had nothing to do with it, we should have fucking fixed it at Trayvon Martin. If this isn't the fault of wider America and wider society, if this isn't our fault, if we aren't picking this up to try and fix this, then we are part of the problem. And that's why the looting happens, because people go, how many of our kids have to fucking die before some people, like before the white population? And I know as a white person, it's ridiculous to say all of these things, you know, because I don't have that lived experience. I don't get it the way that a black person would, and I never fucking will, you know, and that's just because I don't have that experience, you know what I mean? But it's a cry for help. It's a well, you people don't care about shit until it affects you. So here, let me affect you so you can help me save our kids. That's what that is, you know what I mean? And I understand, like, from a perspective of, oh, well, you don't have to harm those people, you know what I mean? Like, I understand that perspective on a surface level, and I agree with you. It sucks for those people. Like, there's probably people out looting in other parts of town that have had their businesses looted, for fuck's sake. Who knows, you know what I mean? Like, if I owned a business, I'd be probably protecting mine first, actually. I wouldn't be going out. But no, actually, in this circumstance, I would be going out, and I wouldn't really, like, I would deal with the consequences, you know what I mean? But I think that it's, yeah, it doesn't like the riots don't exist in a vacuum. The looting doesn't exist in a vacuum. It is very. I can imagine it is very, very easy to see society as the root cause of these problems. You know, that's not necessarily my perspective. I think that the police force, like, there's something that's got to be done. I don't know what it is. Whether it's actually making sure you have to have finished high school. Like, I don't know what the jobs were. That was probably really fucking harsh. I know you need a degree to be a police officer back home. You know, in Australia, you need 2 degrees actually. One in policing, but one in something else. I can't remember. There's a whole academy for it and everything. But yeah, like we should be making sure that the best of us are in that field. And I am going to move on because I've been speaking for 35 minutes, but I'm going to get to the rest of the comments. I knew that had happened. I read one fucking comment and then I kept going. Sorry, guys. But not all cops are rotten like that one. He needs to be made an example of. Well, all of them need to be like again. I understand that perspective. Not all cops are assholes. You know what I mean? And I don't like the M&M or the Skittle analogy when it comes to asylum seekers. You know, people go, oh well, we can't let any asylum seekers in because, you know, if there was one bad fucking Smartie in your bag of Smarties, if it was poisoned, would you eat the other Smarties? Or like, and it's like, I don't like that argument because yes, I would eat the whole fucking bag if those Smarties are human lives, and every human life, every Smartie I eat means a human gets to live an awesome life, and I have the risk of eating one badly at one point that'll negatively affect me. I'm still going to eat that fucking bag of Skittles if it means actual humans are. I think I said Skittles, M&Ms, and fucking something else there, but you understand the analogy. You know what I mean? Like, humans are important, but with the cops with the cops argument, like, I can see that as well, you know, like, if there's one bad, like, I mean, if there's only a couple of bad cops, right? Like, there were fucking three cops watching old mate put his knee in Floyd's neck, you know what I mean, in George Floyd's neck. If they're the good cops, like, the standard you walk past is the standard you accept, right? Or the standard you watch your partner knee into the cement is the standard you'll accept. And as far as I'm concerned, they're complicit. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if you look at this guy's rap sheet, he's got eight. Like, you can Google the police officer's name. I'm not going to give him any more time, or time of day or anything like that. Like, I think the cunt should be in prison for the rest of his life, and I don't think it should be an enjoyable experience. You know what I mean? Like, I fucking. But anyway, like, I'm going around in circles. But if they were good cops, they would have stopped him. You know, like, it's not a matter of good cops and bad cops. It's bad cops and ambivalent cops, which is not helpful. You know what I mean? And like, I can honestly say, you know, and this will either piss you off or it won't. You know what I mean? I can honestly say I've never met a police officer in person that I have enjoyed the time of. You know what I mean? Like, I've had a couple of mates who had mates who were police officers, and they were just fucking boring people without personalities, who were dumb, like, actually dumb. You know, and again, I know that makes me sound like I'm an elitist, but, you know, toot toot, I will toot my own horn. I think I am smarter than every police officer I have ever met. That is my belief. You know what I mean? And to have that belief, but also still hold true to the fact that I know in Australia there are horrible things that occur and there are horrible elements of corruption all throughout the place. Gerrymandering's rife. Like, hasn't been an election in the last fucking 30 years where they haven't changed at least one boundary. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking, it's not a perfect place at all. But like, I don't know if it's maybe the gun control, like, because the cops aren't fucking shitting themselves every time they pull someone over for a traffic stop. Like, they're not worrying about if someone's got a gun or not. You know what I mean? Because they know they don't. And that's another discussion to have as well, entirely. But like, I don't know if that's maybe it, or maybe it's not, or I don't know. But you just, yeah, shit's fucked. Cunt's fucked. Shit's wrong. George Floyd, like, I am, like, hollow, you know? Like, I haven't got the words for it, but that fucking tennis ball sized gap where you fucking, like, the middle of your chest should be, you know what I mean? Like, it hasn't gone away. And I just, like, I don't know what the answer is. That's what it comes down to. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm angry and sad and confused, like, all at once, you know? And I know we're better than this. Not we can be better than this, but we are better than this already, and we shouldn't still be having this happen. You know, that type of person shouldn't be in that type of position. There should be psychological tests to make sure that doesn't fucking happen. The type of person that can knee someone to death is the type of person you can fucking pull out of a lineup if you're a psychologist worth your salt. You know what I mean? Like, if you have the ability to do that, you shouldn't have the ability to police. That's just my take. I'm going to move on, but anyway, I'm going to keep reading the comments. I probably won't move on, but I can't get mad at someone for setting a fire. Exactly. Da, da, da. Characters are unsuitable to the power that get through. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I said. You know, those tests you have to do at recruitment places. Yeah, exactly. I don't know exactly what happened, but the fact is that you don't fuck with cops. You always lose. It isn't necessarily right. It isn't necessarily right, but that's how life works. No, that's not how life works, bro. What do you mean you don't fuck with cops? They're not the fucking Huns. Like they're not the fucking like it's like they absolutely fuck with cops. We set their fucking rules. Like they're there for us. They're ours. We own them. Like that's like and I mean obviously in this country that's poor choice of words because you did have a significant period of time where there were people that own people here. So like metaphorically I meant just to be clear, you know what I mean? But like we set the laws. We decide what they're going to be. We vote the people into power that make the decisions that end up paying the checks of these people. Like I don't understand the argument of the fact is that you don't fuck with cops. At what point in the video was that guy fucking with cops? He was face down into the asphalt, screaming, "Someone help me! I can't breathe!" Like that's just such a silly take. I think And again, not trying to have a crack at you personally, not calling you as a human stupid, but that argument and that take, I don't see a lot of logic there. I'm just throwing that out there. You know what I mean? But anyway, just imagine only getting fired for killing someone. Exactly, right? Like you fucking straight up, and hasn't even been fired yet. Like anyway, I must go now. Sadly, catch you, mate. Sorry. The police should also be trained more. Yep. I'm glad you understand the injustice of it all. Thank you. I'm glad you are glad, but I'm not glad that this entire situation has come about. There also needs to be less demand on their services. Yeah, absolutely. Legalize weed federally. Fucking boom. The cops can actually focus on real crimes. Like that's one thing we could do overnight. Trump could sign an executive order and instantly, boom. No, like fucking 3/4 of the fucking cop issues or cop citizen interactions are just kaput gone. And I understand you can't do that because then there's a fuck ton of people in prison currently for weed crimes, and you can't let the government make money off weed if you were imprisoning people for making money off weed. You know what I mean? Like you've got to let those people out first. That's my take. You don't have to agree with it, but yeah, if you as the government, therefore us as a society, if we as a society are going to use tax dollars from weed, we need to let the people that are in prison currently for weed out into society to fucking pay tax normally and be a normal tax-paying member of society. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's another hot take just there. But that's that. You're an amazing creator, and I know you'll be breaking to YouTube. Thank you very much. Thanks, man. What happened? I just got here. I was ranting about Minneapolis. Minneapolis. I don't know how to spell it. So, Minnesota, the place that Charlie Conway's from in the Mighty Ducks. That's a cop thing, not a race thing. I'm from a largely white area, and they just shift who they watch. I get it all the time when I was a kid. That's just but like that doesn't make it all right, does it? Like, and I know that there's a lot of people here, and like they see the race issue, right? And they go, "Yep, black people are unhappy, black people are rioting," and they feel like they're being blamed personally, and so they go, "Oh, it's not about race, it's about like class, or it's about." And I will acknowledge that in a lot of places it is about class, but when you set a country up to have your lower class be dominated by one set of people, class warfare and racial warfare kind of end up looking like the same thing. If it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's probably a fucking duck. But like I do hear you. Like I'm not saying that black people hold a monopoly on cops being assholes to them, but I would say it's the default setting. Like when I look at a cop, or when a cop looks at me, and we make eye contact, there is a mutual level of all right. You know what I mean? And that's just, from what I can see, not given to a large percentage of people in this country. And it's maybe it's just the optics. Maybe it's post hoc ergo propter hoc. You know what I mean? That's is that Latin? I think that's Latin. Yeah, that's it. Basically, it means after it, therefore, because of, and it's fucking 100% of the time, almost. 90% of the time, it's not the case. It's correlation does not equal causation. You know what I mean? And so, I do completely understand the subsection of this country that I am a part of as well, like the white community and everything that feel a bit on the edge. But like, fuck me, like yeah, I just like I think it is a race thing. You know what I mean? Like, we're not hearing about fucking John Smith and Bradley fucking Schuster and fucking like Kyle Redman or whatever they're fucking, like, whatever you want to call them, like, we're not hearing about white people getting shot by the cops for fucking paying with a fraudulent check, are we? Like, we can use a perfect example of the fucking protests. Those fucking dumb cunt glue eating knuckle dragging fuckwits that were protesting about the masks and about like not being able to go out in public, about the lockdowns, like, fucking president of the country finally does something right in terms of social welfares and stuff. He's been doing great for the economy before coronavirus hit, 100% credit where it's due. But he finally does something for the people as opposed to the financial bottom line. Yeah, and various state governors like drop the politics, drop the partisan bullshit, and just go, yep, lockdown. This is a thing. And so you get your fucking like running on instinct, not even as smart as dolphins people that are fucking coming out just, like, oh, I want to get a haircut. Fuck off and cut your own hair, cunt. Like, it's not an essential service. But anyway, you get white people with AR-15s fucking literally storming council grounds with their fucking guns over their hips and guns on their hips, and you will not reply. Like, nothing. You pay with a fraudulent check, you get murdered. Like, you can't tell me that's not race-based. You can't. I know there are a lot of things I don't understand about this country, and I know I'm still learning on the fly. Like, I get it. I do. And I often, it's not it's not a thing that happens really as a result of my bipolar and the fact that I give zero fucks. Once I got my diagnosis, I went, all right, that's how my brain works. Cool. Not going to be sorry for it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I am different and I look at things differently, and that what that means is I have outbursts a lot, but I just and often I'll speak before I think, you know what I mean, and I'll add up, I'll do the maths, and I'll go, oh yep, 2 + 2, that's 4, fucking 4, cunt, 4, but then I won't have realized the brackets with the -3, and then somebody points out the -3 to me, and I'm like, oh fuck, that's not 4, that's 1. Like, I understand I am ignorant, and that comes as a result of my arrogance very often. But I really don't think that's the case here, man. Like, I really, really don't. I think that it's like you'd be hard pressed to find a black person that says it's not race based, And I think that's. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you're white or black, to be honest. So that was presumptive of me to say maybe you're not even, maybe you're neither. I've never understood why people say yellow in terms of Asian as well. Like, it's not a thing that makes like sense to me. They're not yellow. Like, that's not what that skin tone is. But anyway, people of and that's another fun thing actually. It's not on my list. I say fun obviously in an ironic sense, but the other day in a Facebook comment, right? Somebody was commenting again about something to do with this sort of topic. Not I don't think he'd passed away yet, but I think it was a Black Lives Matter and an All Lives Matter post or whatever. And I was I can't even remember the context. Fuck, whatever the context was, I was talking about my wife, and I referred to my wife as a black woman because she is a black woman. And spoke about her perspective and my perspective and how she's had to teach me about a lot of things as a result of my ignorance coming into this country. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of things that Hollywood presents to the Australians on the other side of the Pacific Ocean that just A, aren't reality, or B, are way more of a reality than you'd anticipate, And so my wife did have to teach me about a lot of different things. And I said that in the comment section. And this uppity fucking little fucking bitch, right? Just like, of course I stalked her page, and she like had fucking, she had the pink hair, the pixie cut, the fucking like the whole works, you know what I mean? Like, she was a cliche with a capital fucking F for fuckwit, right? And she was abusing me like in the comments section because I had referred to my own wife as a black woman as opposed to a POC, a person of color. Right. And like, as I said to her, my wife is black. she's not a person, like she is a person of color, but that is a term that means not white. That's what it means. That's not specific, you know? That term just means, oh yeah, that thing that's not white. Yeah, cool. That collection, that's not us. Yep, cool, that's them. You know, and I get really butthurt. Like, she's not Asian. She's not fucking Puerto Rican. She's not fucking like she's a black American. She's a descendant of chattel slavery. That is what she is. That is who she is. You know what I mean? Don't correct me on how I refer to my own fucking wife, cunt. But anyway, like I'm gonna keep going in the comment section. As I said, I keep saying that. Sorry. As a black female American, it's something that you get used to. Yeah, and why like you shouldn't fucking have to, you know? Like that's fucked up. What's up, anxious? Much love and support, bro. Hey, Austin. Hope you're still here, bro. The man might have survived if the cop just would have gotten off his neck when he was already unconscious. I mean, even then, right? Like, you don't need to be fucking putting someone unconscious with your knees. You have a fucking taser. You have some pepper spray. You have some handcuffs. Like, you have so many different weapons at your fucking that you can use to subdue that man. You do not need to physically choke him out like you're living some fucking dream of being a fucking MMA fighter or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the man might have survived if there wasn't a fucking cowboy with a badge. That's how we might have survived, you know? Like, we can talk about the if buts. Sorry. Talk about the if buts and maybes and how he would have survived. The way he would have survived if that cunt wasn't a police officer. And maybe he might not have. Maybe some other cunt police officer might have fucking got there next, you know? Like, who fucking knows? As I said at the start of the stream, this video is definitely being demonetized because I've mentioned Corona, fucking George Floyd, and now I've said cops are cunts as well. So yeah, hit me up with a super chat or fucking join my Patreon if you can. But anyway, where are we? It's something you have to teach your son about. And sadly, even then, he might not survive the encounter. Exactly, right? And that's it. Like, it absolutely makes me shit myself. You know what I mean? Like, and like, I have never encountered a battle that I didn't back myself into. You know what I mean? But there are so many different conflicting thoughts I have about fatherhood in general, right? Like, it's last week especially, you know, I've been struggling sleep-wise because he's due any fucking minute, you know, and it's like like, my biological dad fucked up so fucking hard, you know, that it took me 3 or 4 fucking suicide attempts, 10 years of therapy, fucking, and a bipolar diagnosis to get over it, and I'm still not quite over it, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's on him. But he was so fucked up because his parents were fucked up, and it created this fucking spiral of just fucked up people fucking up people, you know what I mean? And I am adamant that's not going to happen with my kids, you know what I mean? Like, my mum, like, full credit to my mum, once my dad left her and then went and was with someone else before he ended up killing himself and all that sort of stuff, like, she is my fucking hero, you know? My mum went to university, put herself through university on a single mother's pension, raising 2 kids who were in elementary school on their own because she wanted to show, not tell, you know, provide an example, not tell them what to do. And she's my fucking hero, you know, like, she's affected every single education syllabus in the state that she lives in now. She's a fucking big deal, you know, like, in terms of education. There isn't a bigwig in the education industry that doesn't know who she is, you know, like, she's people who write the textbooks on the English subject in New South Wales, Australia, fucking send them to her for editing and proofreading and ideas, you know what I mean? Like, she's a fucking G. And she's the reason that I am able to look at my biological dad and go, you fucked up. Wasn't your fault, though. It was her fault. She fucked up. Probably wasn't her fault, though. It was her mum's fault. And it's going to stop with me, you know? My kids aren't going to be fuck-ups in the same vein that my dad was a fuck-up and that I was a fuck-up as a result of his fuck-uppery, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I mean, I think from everything I've read and from all the advice I've got and all the advice I've given, like, it's kids grow up in spite of you, not because of you. You know what I mean? Like, they'll grow up. You've just got to make sure they can, and that they know that they're loved and that they're supported and that you've got their back. But also you got to provide them with fucking parameters so that they don't, you know, go on Heath Ledger themselves at some point by accident. And I get all of that, but I like it scares me, you know what I mean? Like guns especially, and I know that I sound like a fucking pussy when I say this because I'm a hard cunt back home, you know, like I'm hard as nails back home. You don't want to fuck with me, you know, like and I don't mean that in a bad sense, you know what I mean? Like I haven't fucking murdered anyone or commit crimes or any shit like that, but like as a result of the bipolar and the impulsive behavior, if I want to punch you in the face, if I get the urge to punch you in the face, and you deserve it, you know, like I'm probably just going to punch you in the face. That's just how it goes, you know. Um, but I've had to really adjust that here in America, and you know, like I've got a fucking smart mouth, and I think it's you know, like I'd have had a gun pulled on me in adolescence, absolutely, as a result of this smart mouth. Like there is no questioning it, and I don't even know. Like I was thinking about it the other day. I don't even know what I would do if a gun was drawn on me. Like I reckon I would probably still talk shit to the bloke just by because I'm a dickhead, you know, like genuinely. And the concept of providing a male role, being that male role model, and providing an example of how a man should be to my son scares the living shit out of me, even without the added layer of guns. And the American police force's relationship with black men, you know what I mean? Like it's a fucking daunting experience, and like I know people talk about parenting like it's the you know the biggest thing that'll ever happen in your life, and you know until I became a parent, I thought that was absurd. But now I am one. I'm like, fuck me, everything's just like it's a bookend moment. You know what I mean? Like it's a. I think I said it before in a different live stream. Bear with me, I've got a bit of phlegm. So you can, I don't know about you guys, but like you sniff the phlegm and then it like actually goes the wrong way, attaches itself to the dangly bit at the back of your throat. Yeah, not fun. But anyway, as I was saying, the all of it just fucking scares me. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't really know how I'm going to be doing it. You know, like I feel like I've said it in a previous live stream at some point, but like I feel like I am looking at a bookshelf, you know, and all the spines are turned inward, so all I can see are just pages and like the opposite side of the spine. The spines are all facing inward, and I know that there are hundreds of amazing stories and experiences on this bookshelf that I'm about to embark upon reading metaphorically. You know what I mean? But I have no idea what genre the books are going to be. I have no idea what type of characters I'm going to interact with. You know what I mean? And so, like, it's a bit daunting in terms of um, life. Like it's I never met anyone I loved more than myself until I met Shannon and Sophia. Sophia's a 6-year-old, her daughter, my stepdaughter, and now like just the moment I heard the heartbeat, you know what I mean? Like it was just it was like an out of body experience, you know. And like obviously I don't, I've been talking about parenting for ages now as well, but I just like it adds a layer, you know what I mean? And like I'm not gonna lie, Shannon and I, spoke about, well, why don't we move back to Australia, like where there are gun laws and where that shit's unlikely to happen. And like realistically, we don't have like that's just not a feasible option for us at the moment anyway, even if we wanted to. And I would never be able to come back because I've got to be here until my green card's approved or denied now. And if I leave the country, they just deny it and don't let me back in, you know? So we can't do that anyway unless we were like, I'm never coming back. And I don't want to do that. I would like to come back. I would like to see my kids, grandkids, you know what I mean? Like if at any point we decide to move back to Australia, it's not going to be for another 3 or 4 years at the very minimum. And by that point, I hope to have been a part of some drastic fucking change in this country so that we don't feel like we need to. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it comes down to is that we as a country need to do something and we need to come together better and genuinely, you know what I mean? I don't think we like it wasn't like the Emancipation Proclamation happened and then instantly we were fucking all invited to the cookouts in Kwanzaa or whatever, you know what I mean? Like that's not how shit went, and it's still not how shit's going. And I feel like there's a really good opportunity for a segue for me here. Actually, that's really good. I feel like that it's the reconciliation between Black America and white America is still yet to really happen. And speaking of reconciliation, right? Moving on to my second point, because I've been spending an hour talking about what I'm angry about, and I will come back to the comments, I promise. I am going to move to this second point because it's going to be really quick, right? Rio fucking Tinto. Yeah? Big mining company. Fucking scum of the earth. Yeah? Absolute horrible people. So in Australia at the moment, it's Reconciliation Week, right? Which had different names across different eras, but it's basically like a couple of days ago was National Sorry Day, which is Kevin Rudd, who was the Prime Minister that I've spoken to you guys at great length about. He's the one that beat John Howard, who is the biggest cunt to ever run Australian politics. And I will fucking fight you if you disagree. Like, so many people from my generation, just because he was prime minister from 1996 to 2007, or 93 to 2007. I think it was 93, actually. But anyway, he was fucking prime minister for a long time through my formative years. And so for some reason, most of my generation just goes, oh, yeah, the good old days of Johnny Howard. The man was a fucking scumbag. Like, he literally passed laws so that businesses didn't have to give you a reason. They could just sack you with no notice. You could rock up to work one day. Nah, you don't have a job now. See you later. Fuck off. He enacted the GST, which is goods and services tax, which, long story short, there were varying tax rates on varying different things. Things like luxury yachts and Rolls Royces had tax rates that were like fucking huge. And things like, you know, bread and fucking laptops, or like shoes and fucking home brand stuff, you know, cheap stuff that poor people might buy, previously had 1 or 2 or 3% tax on it. But the GST, the goods and services tax, is just blank 10% on everything. So it brought the price of all the really expensive shit down a bunch and put the price of all the really cheap stuff up a bunch. And that was his crowning achievement. And everyone talks about it like he's a fucking sitcom for it. And it's like, you just made the rich richer and the poor poorer. You're a reverse Robin Hood. You're a cunt. You're a fucking square cunt. You're a sharp cunt. You're a cunt that like isn't even useful, you know? But anyway, that's John Howard. Reconciliation Week, long been a thing, under various different names and stuff. And it's Kevin Rudd, after he beat John Howard in like within the first 100 days of office, that was one of the things he campaigned on, was that he was going to say sorry to the stolen generations. Bit of an empty gesture, actually, now looking back, to be honest, but it was a gesture that needed to be made at the time. We could probably take some more actions now and do something better about it and whatnot, and put our money where our mouth is as Australians, but that's another topic. Even notionally getting involved in Reconciliation Week would be dope now, right? So, as I said, Reconciliation Week, National Sorry Day happened. If you don't know what the stolen generations were, basically, right, it was the Australian government's position, and this is not conspiracy theory. This is not like fringe belief. This is the government's stance that you can still go back and look at in literally any history book, regardless of which side of history they favor. You know what I mean? It was the government's stance that they would, and they had clip shows that they showed to police officers and to politicians and everything like that, of genetics, of that, you know, if a white man and a black woman had a child, their kid would be mixed. If that mixed kid married a white person, by the third generation, they will have bred out the Aboriginality. Those were their words, right? And that was their intent, was to breed out Aboriginals and eradicate them from the face of the earth, right? That was their absolute intent. It's only not referred to as a genocide now because it's the same government that has concurrently been in power. We haven't had a revolution or anything like that. We haven't had a civil war. Whoa, that was loud. Sorry, guys. We haven't had a civil war. We haven't had any of these things where you can pass the buck onto someone else and go, oh, that wasn't us. That was these other people that we've since had a conflict and separated ourselves from. You know what I mean? So no one fucking talks about it at all. That was the legit stance, and it was literally generations and generations of the government going into Aboriginal communities, stealing the children, grabbing them, fighting off the adults, putting them in the back of the car and driving them to the other side of the fucking country, right? Putting them in missionary, in fucking missions, teaching them the word of God, which I'm just throwing that out there, believe in God all you like, but if you've got to whip your fucking God into someone, maybe he's not the type of cunt I want to follow. Just throwing that out there. And I told you I was going to be cranky, right? Like, but yeah. So Reconciliation Week is Sorry Day was Kevin Rudd, the Prime Minister of Australia, apologising for the Australian government's role that they played and the decision making process that they had and their stance. Like it was an apology for the abhorrent treatment of Aboriginal people. As I said, bit of an empty gesture since all the things that have happened since and continue to happen, right? But Reconciliation Week, Rio Tinto. I'll get back to the point. In a place called the Pilbara. It's a mining region out in bumfuck nowhere, right? Like middle of nowhere. No white people live out there. There's a couple of remote Aboriginal communities that have always lived out there. Depending on which scientist you talk to, they'll be like, oh, yeah, they've been out there 40,000 years. Oh, yeah, they've been out there 60,000 years. Oh, this fossil means they've been out there they say they've been there forever. They've fucking been there forever. I don't care. You know what I mean? They have different genetics to like if you look into the Denisovans, right? Who are we've only got 4 different pinky bones of these strange people that were not Neanderthals, not Homo sapiens, not Homo, or they were Homo erectus or whatever. Like they were a hominid, but they weren't Neanderthal or Homo sapien. They were something else, right? And the most densely clustered location of the DNA of Denisovan people in currently living humans is in Aboriginal Australia. You know what I mean? So, as far as I'm concerned, given we have fuck all Denisovan DNA anywhere else, and there's a shitload of it in that island, kind of lends credibility to the theory that maybe they just fucking have been there forever. You know what I mean? They've got huge chunks of DNA that are from a different hominid. You know what I mean? And obviously we have them as well. Like everyone interbred, we interbred and all that sort of stuff as well. I'm not saying they're not human. That's fucking racist in itself. But yeah, it's a thing, I if they say they've been here forever, white people just keep moving the goalposts, you've been here 40,000 years, you don't know how long forever is. Oh, you've been here 60,000 years, you don't know how long forever is, etc., etc. And they fucking one of my favorite stories actually is one of the Aboriginal dreaming stories. So dreaming or the dream time or however you want to refer to it, it's basically a current state of being. It's non-linear. Everyone lives at the same point. It's currently happening now. It was happening 2,000 years ago. It will be happening 2,000 years from now. Sort of like I don't know if you've ever rounded a corner and you've looked at, you've never been there before, but you've looked out at something and it's like you've remembered a whole bunch of things happening, but and seen people there or something like that. But it's definitely not a memory because you've never been there, but it's as if it was a memory. You're just seeing people plodding along and all that sort of stuff. Sort of like that, right? But also with myths about how the rainbow lorikeet got its colors and why the crow's black, how the sun got into the sky, different things like that and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, they've in those stories, in the dreaming stories, they had stories about megafauna, like kangaroos that were twice the size of humans, fucking wombats the size of rhinos, these massive, huge animals that got wiped out, 40, 50,000 years ago, but were here and were a part of the dreaming. And literally, they were laughed at. English or British scholars laughed at them for centuries, yeah? Until we found some fucking fossils of some fucking megafauna, and it turns out about the same time frame they suggested with their and this is oral histories lasting 40, 50, maybe 60,000 years. That's fucking huge. That's better than any oral history ever. These are the oldest living cultures on the planet, and cultures with an S, because big fucking landmass. There were lots of them here, and they weren't all one homogenous group. That's one of the things that shits me about when people say Native American as well. Which fucking part? The cunts that lived in Texas probably had nothing to do with the cunts that lived up here. And it irks me when people call the Iroquois. I've never seen it. I've never heard it pronounced. I've only read it. Iroquois. I don't know. You know who I'm talking about. The Six Nations up here. They're not even they're native to. Half the area that they're native to is in America and half is in Canada. Are they Native Americans or Native Canadians? Why don't we just learn what they call themselves, That's my go-to, I'm not going to call someone an Aboriginal if I know they're from the Darawal country, I'm not going to call them, I'll call them Yolnu if I know they're from Yolnu. I'll call them fucking, Oneida if they're from Oneida here or Mohawk or Cayuga or whatever, out of those Six Nations. Gee, my testy pop then. But anyway, like I just think that it's these catch-all terms, like people of color, like I was saying before, these catch-all terms that actually just remove any individuality or sense of semblance of society that you might have. Like it's just fuckwittery, Like, but anyway, I'm gonna keep going. Rio Tinto mining company out in the Pilbara, where one of the communities are, or a couple of the communities are. There are these, ancient incredibly culturally significant rock caves with ancient tools in them. Like, so I wrote this one down because it was impressive for me. But it was there is a 28,000-year-old tools. There are several sets, right, of 28,000-year-old. We've learnt from carbon dating, like the equivalent of like a mortar and pestle. It's like a grinding thing and a bowl for grinding with residue of seeds of what Australians refer to as kangaroo grass and all the white people think is a fucking weed, but certain Aboriginal communities harvest for their seeds and grind their seeds into a flour, which is like it's like sort of like a sweeter flour than flour, like it creates, like you can make bread and cake and all that sort of stuff with it just like you would anywhere else. But yeah, 28,000 years ago, the fucking like leftover bits of a mortar and pestle and grind work, like that means like, because they weren't just fucking like, and again, this is me going into speculation territory now, right? But they weren't just grinding up seeds so they could lick the fucking powder. You know what I mean? Like they invented baking. That's 28,000 years ago. You don't make flour and in a cave like that where you can heat it and burn it and near a fucking water source where you can, like, that was baking 28,000 years ago. That was humans baking. And that's the thing that shits me the most, right? So Rio Tinto blew it up in Reconciliation Week. Yeah. So Rio Tinto, the mining company, just went, oh, we're pretty sure there's coal under there. So we're just going to fucking blow that up, right? So fuck all the archaeological stuff that might be in there. There was like two archaeologists that had been in there twice each into these huge caves. Like, that's not just Aboriginal heritage that you are being flippant and dismissive about. That's not just some fucking culture that you don't respect. That is human history. That's the oldest living. Those are the oldest living cultures on this planet. Those are the oldest mortar and pestle fucking remnants. That is the oldest evidence for baking in human history, not just Aboriginal history, human history. These are not just culturally significant to what are they called? Where are they in the Pilbara? I'm trying to picture the map of all the. Did I write it down? No, I wrote down the gorge. It's the Yukon or the Yukon. Again, never heard it said out loud. Might be Yukon. Jukkon. I'm going to say Yukon, even if it's not Yukon. Even if it's Yukon. But yeah, the Yukon Gorge is what I wrote. I wish I'd written the nation of the Aboriginal people that live there. But anyway, yeah, Rio Tinto on Sorry Day, the anniversary of Kevin Rudd saying sorry to the stolen generations during Reconciliation Week, blew up what has been casually estimated at 30,000-year-old, but had we been allowed to dig a little bit more, could have been proven to be even further or wider out than that, like 50, 60, 70,000, who fucking knows, right? All of that history is gone. All of that cultural significance is gone. Or it's fucking scattered up on the treetops, you know what I mean? Like, or it's currently going through a fucking piece of mining machinery to try and fucking find a bit of coal that literally the whole fucking island is basically on. There's fucking coal basically everywhere. Why'd you have to go and blow up the fucking rock art, Like, makes me angry. That's one of the things I'm angry about today. But yeah, reprehensible white cunts doing horrible things to black people, not just an American thing. And yeah, there's that, and that's those two things happening as well. Like it's I know I talk about it a lot, right? And I feel like I've devoted an hour to talking about Minnesota. I can say this, and you'll know I'm not just being like, oh, don't talk about it. You know what I mean? But even with that occurring in Australia this week, yeah, the Rio Tinto blew up some of the oldest evidence for baking in human history. They blew up one of the oldest rock caves in Australia that had proof of sedentary Aboriginal life. They fucking blew it up during Reconciliation Week, and people who I presume or I used to believe were politically politically astute, intelligent folks, just talking about Minnesota, and I understand that Minnesota's a fucking big deal, and just like all the other ones were fucking big deals, and this is a big issue for America, and we as Americans need to do something to fix it. Absolutely. The outrage is warranted, and I'm not in any capacity saying, oh, you shouldn't be outraged. You know what I mean? But I am saying if you're in Australia and you have the power to stop fucking cunts like Rio Tinto blowing up fucking Aboriginal art sites and Aboriginal housing sites, and like if you have the power to stop that shit and you're worried about Minnesota, let me tell you, you got your eyes on the wrong ball, man. We're like I'll handle this shit. I'm here in America. I will make this better. I commit to that. My life is going to be about making this better, because like this country makes me better, and I will make this country better together. It's a symbiotic relationship. You know what I mean? That's what America's about. We all make it better, and it makes us all better. You know, like I feel like fucking D'Artagnan saying all for one and one for all. But you know what I'm saying here? You know what I mean? Like it's. Yeah, I guess I just big fuck you to all the Australians that are talking about, you know, all the different racial problems that America has. Like, look in your own backyard, cunts, for fuck's sake. And I'm going to read some more comments and then move on to the next thing that's pissed me off. It's just a sad situation. It is. I love your channel. Thanks, mate. What about Hancock? Yeah, that was that one. I thought that movie was funny. See, I thought it started off well. The first act was pretty good, and then it just got convoluted, and like there was no buy. I wasn't buying into Hancock once he sort of, you know, things got more ridiculous and more ridiculous. But anyway, I should do a movie reviews channel as well, or a playlist at any rate. Anyway, Spawn. I don't know why you were asking Spawn. YouTube copyright is a mind game anyway. They're not designed to make sense. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely, you're right. Spawn sucks so bad no one remembers it. Yeah, I'd fucking never heard of it. I think the first actual movies I watched that weren't like your cliche like fucking. Actually, no, I don't even know. I fucking loved Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans is a fucking awesome flick. Even if I had no idea what all the football shit was. Like I wanted them to win, but I didn't know how they were going to win. I should watch that now. I have a better understanding of football, actually. I reckon it might mean something different to me. But Remember the Titans was dope. Blade was really cool. Didn't Wesley Snipes go off and do some fucking weird shit, though? Like, we're not allowed to like Blade anymore because Wesley Snipes was a weird cunt. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe I'm confusing him with someone else. Maybe he was just tax evasion. I don't mind that. Like, I do pay your tax, you fucking grubby cunt. Like, we're all in this together. Pay your tax, but you know, if the government's going to allow you to pay an accountant to find a loophole, find your fucking loophole, man. Like, that's the government's fault, not yours. Never heard of it. Neither have I. But the Cape physics were great. Everything is racially changed in America. I blame the KKK. Yes, KKK. Holy fucking shit. Don't even get me started on that. Like absolutely, free speech is a thing and should be a thing. You don't have free speech in Australia, though, right? We don't have it. It's not. You don't have free speech. There's a couple of different additions in the Constitution and whatnot that basically, if you say something that from there are a bunch of asterisks, you know, and like 3 people ever have been charged under it, but it's there and it keeps people in line, you know, like. If you are in a position of power or authority over someone, and you use, you know, racially motivated or sexuality motivated, you know, like if you're homophobic, you're fucking racist, you're sexist, if you're discriminatory in any capacity from a position of power in your language, like if you're a boss of someone and you say, oh, no, I'm going to give the extra shift to her over there because I don't give it to N words, you know, or something. You would get the sack. You would go to prison, and maybe not prison for one N word, but consistent breaches of that, and consistent fucking like there isn't free speech. You have the freedom to say what you want, but you don't have the freedom from consequences. If you say some fucked up shit, if you incite violence with your fucking words, then you don't get the same. Words are weapons. Basically, that's what Australia's like. And so I think that to be honest with you, I haven't really formed an opinion on the difference of freedom of speech. That'll be a whole different live stream devoted to itself, I think, because I absolutely understand why a country born from revolution like this one needs free speech and needs to have it as a core tenet of their ethos and a fundamental part of their nation. You know what I mean? Is free speech and the ability to call a dickhead. But you have that ability in Australia too. You just can't call a dickhead a white dickhead. It's you got to fucking have a crack at him for his character, not what he looks like. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think the KKK is an interesting one. I watched a Joe Rogan podcast with what's his name, Darryl Williams, I think his name is, and then I watched a couple of different documentaries on him, and I went down the YouTube rabbit hole where I watched like 19 different videos of this one guy being interviewed by this like fucking 19 people or whatever. But he's a black dude that goes to Klan meetings and he goes to KKK meetings, and he like just by virtue of talking to people and because a lot of these KKK members have literally never met a black person in my life, and so they assume they're in their life. Sorry, so they assume things about them and then don't like those things they've assumed. Like it's classic. Build something up to hate and then hate it. But then he goes to Klan rallies and he talks to them, and like he not through any means of I want you to convert. He just shows them that fucking black people are cool, and they go, oh, hang on a minute. You're the only one I've ever met, and I actually like you. Maybe I shouldn't be in the Klan after all, And I think the answer is more people like him. The answer is collaboration with people like him, and with like I don't know what the fucking answer is. I don't have the answers. Like I'm sitting here in front of a microphone trying to opine to you what the answers are, but fuck knows what they are. I've been here 5 minutes. I can see the issues. I can see the problems. But if you guys haven't fixed it in fucking 200 years, I don't know what. Like, it would be pretty fucking conceited of me to assume I could rock up and can fix it, right? Like, but I want to be part of the solution. I want to be part of the brainstorming, and I want to be part of making it better because, as I said, my son's going to be a black man. So, it hits home for me. And I know a lot of people, it's got to hit home for you before you do something, and like, but I lived in Africa for a bit under a year, like I was the only white person for a very large distance at the orphanage I was working at and everything, like, and I think, like I'm not giving myself fucking white people brownie points by any stretch of the imagination. I didn't buy the shares, but I definitely still do receive the dividends. You know what I mean? Like I am a beneficiary of how I look, regardless of how bad I feel about it at times. You know what I mean? Like about horrible things that occur. But you can look throughout history. It's not going to be the oppressed that convinces the oppressor not to oppress them. You've got to have somebody who the oppressor thinks is on their side, convincing them not to be an oppressor. If you're not going to kill them, right, and if you're not going to just fucking guillotine the cunts, then it needs to be through slow, reasoned discussion. And the type of people that are going to argue with you about fucking George, is it? Yeah. George Floyd. I keep thinking Floyd George for some reason. But anyway, yeah. The people who will argue with you about George Floyd and about all the ifs and buts and the knees and the whatevers, right, are the people who aren't going to listen to what that side of the, like, they're not going to, they'll listen, but they will listen far more attentively to me than they would to anyone from the black community. And I know that's a bit fucked to say, but it's the reality of it. You know what I mean? Like, we needed people like Bobby Kennedy after MLK was shot and killed, and then Bobby Kennedy was shot and killed as well. But like, we needed the Bobby Kennedys to make the civil rights movement work. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to put myself on a fucking an RFK statue or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination. Low key, I think he's one of the coolest American politicians to ever exist. And no, I'm not getting confused. I don't mean JFK. I mean his little brother. But yeah, like, oh man, the documentaries I've watched on that guy, like, fucking imagine, right? So MLK dies, yeah, and he's like RFK is scheduled to give us, like, I think it's the best speech ever given in the history of humankind, and that is definitely hyperbole, but from a history student's perspective, like, let me just tell you, I honestly think, given all the context, that speech, and if you don't know what speech I'm talking about, MLK died, right? But RFK was scheduled to give this speech in this building in fucking, I don't know where. Might be Indianapolis, actually, now, come to think of it. I'm not sure. But yeah, he's scheduled to give this speech to a raucous black crowd, and the police officers, call him in advance and be like, "Yo, you're performing, not performing, you're campaigning, because he was running for president, right? You're campaigning in the ghetto tonight. Martin Luther King's just been killed. We can't protect you, so don't do the speech. We're like, we can't keep you safe. We can't guarantee your safety. So, like, out of some retaliation bullshit or whatever. So don't do the speech, right? And so they lock the doors. He's not allowed into this fucking auditorium thing where he was going to do it. So he hires a flatbed truck, right? And the PA system is a PA system of a person he knows. Like, it's not the people who were going to be running this presidential campaign event. He writes his own speech, right? Like, he's got fucking six speech. Any presidential candidate will have 6, 7 speech writers with him at any point. You know what I mean? Like, you don't say anything, even back then. You don't say anything during a presidential campaign unless it's been focus grouped and it's been run through fucking 9 million different sets of eyeballs. You know, like, it wasn't focus groups and eyeballs back then. It was 5 or 6 different people that were like, oh, yes, no, yep, that'll do. You know, but he wrote his own speech on the way there, and then on the back of a flatbed truck, told this group of people about Martin Luther King being assassinated. And not only did he fucking hold the, like, not only did he survive, like, was he, they didn't need the protection, but he gave this fucking banger of a speech about the majority of what the majority of white people want and the majority of black people want, which is to live together in harmony. He quotes Aeschylus as well, which is just fucking dope, because Aeschylus is a fucking sick poet. And I am so, like, when he quoted Aeschylus, like, because I already had the hairs on the back of my neck listening to that fucking speech, right, in that documentary, and then he drops Aeschylus just by heart, like, he's like, oh, my favorite poem by my favorite poet was by Aeschylus, right? And I knew the poem he was going to fucking drop as soon as he did, because it's a very well known poem, and I knew his older brother had been shot dead. And so, like, he starts off the whole speech with basically, like, cunt's fucked. Some white dude killed Martin Luther King, but some white dude killed my brother too. Like, white dudes killing people is the problem here. And it was just such a fucking great speech, and drop by drop upon the grief falls slowly, drop by drop upon the heart, until through the awful grace of God comes wisdom, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna fucking find it. Yeah. It's a fucking great poem by Aeschylus, and, like, just a politician who's able to drop a poem off the top of his head. Fuck yeah, man! Imagine how different the world would be if RFK had won the presidency. Like, fuck, man. Just little butterfly effects like that as well. Aeschylus. I'm just going to write drop by drop. I don't know what it's actually called. Even in our sleep, that's it, yeah. Even in our sleep, pain which cannot forget falls drop by drop upon the heart, until in our own despair, against our will, comes wisdom through the awful grace of God. Fucking boom. Imagine on a flatbed truck that he'd fucking hired himself, with PA system that he had to borrow from his mates, in the car park of an auditorium that he was supposed to speak at and had been told not to. Like, fuck me. If that's not the best speech that ever occurred in the history of humankind, I'll eat my hat. Anyway, yeah, I've got a couple of other things I'm going to rant about, but I'm going to keep getting into the comments section. Sorry. I went off on a really fucking long tangent there, didn't I, guys? Sorry. Everything, hello. I agree 100%. That's the point. I'm with you. Makes me happy to see these things talked about in an educated manner. Thanks, mate. I'm trying to take my focus off with this. Take my focus off this with some NASCAR tonight. Yeah, it starts at 7, doesn't it? About an hour and a half from now. I'll try and wrap this up before then, so that we can all go watch it. It's all good. You're speaking your mind, and I really respect that. Thank you very much. Too bad the YouTube algorithm doesn't. Wasn't sure where this was going when I joined, but as an Englishman watching from afar, I'm fully with you, Squid. Fuck yeah, Kieran, you're a legend. They're going to jail this time. There's no way they're getting out of this. But then again, I said that before, and they got off. Like Trayvon Martin, bro. Like that cunt got off. That cunt got off and then sold merch, like about the fact, like yeah. Anyway, this isn't a black people problem. This is a white people problem. Abso-fucking-lutely. Please just make sure your son is safe, please. I'll do my best. I agree we should come together. I'm not sure I agree with the what you said in the comment before that, John, but it's all G. What's up, Squid? What's happening? Hey, Jimmy. Sorry, man. Sorry to get into you late. Police, police force. Facts. You're not a dickhead. You're Australian. There's a major difference. Yeah, that's true. There is a fucking fine line, though, right? Like, sorry, I just like doing that pretentious thing sometimes. Speaking about police, what about what happened in Minnesota? Yep, you came late to the party. That's fine. Not all cops are bad. There are plenty of videos on here that show cool cops. But there are ones that don't need a badge and gun because they don't have the mental capacity to have that power. Yeah, exactly. You know, I feel like there should be better testing. It's like saying like I can't think of an analogy, but no, you're right. It's there should be people that don't have the power but that currently do. If you think cops are bad, you better never run into a state trooper. What's the difference? I've not been here long. The South and the middle of the country are the worst for cops. The bigger cities are better. Trust me. Fair enough. All the police around town are cool. Jimmy Sammer. I think I'm frozen. My chat's frozen anyway. Yep, and it's gone right down the bottom. Fuck, I just lost all of my comments. I didn't lose them all, but I'm going to go back up and see where I can be. Oh, look, CJ's name's there. Hey, CJ. Didn't see you yet. How you doing, CJ? You're a legend. Where are we? Harrison's from Georgia. I knew that already. Where am I? He's already covered that. Cool, we're back at that. State trooper. Not been here long. South. All the police around my town are cool. But there are always a few police officers everywhere that are jerks. Yeah, there's always going to be people that are in it for the power trip. You know what I mean? Like I remember I got off a driving offence, not offence, but I didn't have my P plates on, right? So in Australia, you go on your L plate when you're 16, you can go on your L plates. You got to pass a fucking just touch screen sort of test. You get your L plates. You have to drive for I don't know what it is now, like 120 hours or something in a logbook with your old man or your mum or someone who's fully licensed. You know what I mean? They teach you at the end of either 12 months, so after 12 months and that logbook's worth of stuff, you can't just do the logbook in a week and then go back. You got to wait till you're 17. You go back and you actually have a driving test with a official in the car with you. If you pass that test, you go on your red Ps and you're allowed to drive on your own. You're allowed to do a certain speed. Excuse me. You're only allowed to do a certain speed after 12 months. You go and do another test on a screen, and you go to your green Ps. You're allowed to go a little bit faster then, but still you're limited to the amount of passengers you have or whatever. And then after 2 years on your green Ps, you're fully licensed. Like you got to pass another fucking test or whatever. I think it's a touchscreen one. I never did it. And then you're on your blacks, right? I just really, like I was a late bloomer in terms of getting my license. I got my license when I was fucking 20 or whatever, and that was because I was, my job was moving, and I didn't want to get a 3-hour train ride. I wanted to drive to work, and there we go. but yeah, this one cop, this one day, I didn't have my P plates on. I was on my green Ps, second year of green P plates, like 7 months away from not being on my plates. I wanted to be able to do the full speed on the fucking freeway because it's a pain in the ass having fucking full blown fucking semis flying past you. It's unsafe. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather be doing the full speed. And because I was a late bloomer and an adult, people aren't going to look at me through the window and be like, oh, there's a teenager that should be on their P plates. They're just going to go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. He's not on his P plates. You know what I mean? And so, obviously, not advocating for people to commit crime because that is technically not showing your P plates is technically a crime. But I wasn't as inexperienced as a P plater would. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm getting at? But yeah, the fucking guy pulls me up and he's like, I can't remember what he was, but he was just absolute fuckwit. You know what I mean? Like just coming up with the, "Are you aware why I've pulled you over today, sir?" Probably because you had nothing better to do, cunt. Like I don't fucking know. Like, and he was just a knob, and I was perfectly civil from the get go with him, but he was just a knob because he saw my driving record, which is, had been littered with not wearing my P plates, and the occasional speeding charge. I think I had 2 within the 12 months of him pulling me up, which was not ideal. But I still maintain that those shouldn't have been speeding fines because they were through roadworks and there were no roadworks being done. I was doing less than what the actual speed limit was had there not been roadworks there. But anyway, that's just a fucking bugbear for me. Like, if there's no one fucking there, I'm not going to slow down for the safety of the imaginary people. You know what I mean? Like, that's just dumb. Don't be dumb. But anyway, that guy was a dick. And I'll still never remember the look on his face because I challenged it, right? Because even though I had my P's on me, when he handed me the form, he hadn't signed it. And so I took it to court and beat him as a result of that. And I honestly, sometimes I go fucking half chub just thinking about the look on that cunt's face. I was so satisfied that day because he came and everything, like he came to the court and everything to be like, well, we've got fucking photographic evidence, blah, 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 blah. He was such a knob. And he pulled Hinto up as well, my mate. Like, he pulled him up at some point. Like, might not have been Hinto, actually. It might have been his Mrs. Ash. But anyway, he was the dickhead cop in town. And I, had a judge. I didn't do anything to him, but a judge literally fucking read him the riot act because he was like, you're right, you do have pictures, but I can't do anything with this bloke because you didn't sign the bit of paper. You didn't write your name on the piece of paper. The easiest thing that you had to do that day, write your own name on the piece. Like, the judge fucking lit him up. It was great. But yeah, anyway, where are we? There's some douche cops where I live, but the majority is No, it's Nah, sorry. All cops in America are just and trustworthy. They have no legal obligation to protect and serve, just ticket and arrest. Fair enough. Followed what link? I can't see a link. That's weird, but it's all good. I mean, I don't know where y'all are from, but I'm from West Tennessee, and the cops I know are good. They're friendly and hardworking. I don't have a problem with them. I mean, I feel like we've covered this already, but that probably, again, not making a judgment, but I think that probably has something to do with how they see you, not just how you see them as well. You know what I mean? Talking about cops still. It's tough for the good cops who have done nothing wrong. Standing by and letting that happen is not doing nothing wrong. Like, it's tough for the good cops who weren't there, but there were no good cops that were there, as far as I'm concerned. They may not have had their knee on his neck, but they saw their mate with his knee on his neck. That's fucking. If you're not going to pull your mate up, what kind of a mate are you? Anyway, predicted this rioting would happen at the beginning of the virus craziness. Just didn't think it would happen due to this. This might even overshadow the virus now. Probably. That's another thing that I'm going to be ranting about people and their virus opinions wise. But I'm going to try and get through a chunk of comments first. So bear with me. All cops need better training across the board. I feel like there's an element of better training, and we need a better class of people to go in there as well. Like, if you ate glue in elementary school, you can't be a cop. If you fucking, I don't know, like peppermint flavored Oreos, you can't be a cop. There's something fucking wrong with you. Like, I don't know, like shit like that, but not like that. That was me being flippant. But Da, da, da. See, I have a sorry, I'll read that comment from Jimmy Spencer. I feel bad for all the cops who have done nothing wrong. They know this was bad, but they have to deal with the fact that some people bring the hate on them. With me, the thing, I don't feel bad about disliking the cops that haven't technically done the wrong thing, right? Because morally myself, and again, not trying to piss anyone off, not arguing with you, just telling you my perspective, so you understand it, and so I can understand yours a bit better and all that sort of stuff. Like we're all mates here. We don't always have to agree. But the let me read that comment again. Where am I? Yeah, the good cops, like the fucking. I morally would not be able to put myself in a job where I had to enforce things that I didn't believe in. I couldn't be a cop because I like weed too much. I couldn't be a cop because I don't think it's that big a deal, certain crimes. You know what I mean? Like jaywalking, for example, is just one. Like, why is that a fucking crime? Like, obviously, you can't just have people walking in the road. The road is a thoroughfare, it's a place for cars, and I get it. But, like, I had a friend, Doug Smithers, shout out if you're watching this, back home in Australia, who actually got fined for jaywalking once. He crossed the road when the little red man was on instead of the green man. There were no fucking cars coming, and the cops on the other side of the road gave him a fucking $255 fine for jaywalking. Fucking shit be crazy. Like I think that a job where you have to enforce laws that you don't like, if you willingly and knowingly are happy with giving up your own morals for the sake of a paycheck, I'm not sure that I would be. I don't think I would do that. In Australia, I'm not anywhere near qualified to, like I don't know what the qualifications are here, but I don't have the degrees to be a police officer back home. But like the yeah. Hear that weird noise from my neck just then? Anyway, this live stream showed up next to the Something by the band Let Live. Seems to fit perfectly. That's it. This reminds me of NASCAR, how much it took for them to make it safer. All the other people that died, NASCAR did nothing. But when the biggest star was killed, that's when they made it safer. Yeah, except like we just need to, maybe if it was fucking Kevin Hart under that cop's knee, then maybe there'd be an issue. Maybe people like we've been debating it in the comments. You know what I mean? Like this isn't a big enough issue for white America to change it. This isn't a Dale Earnhardt situation. This is just another run of the mill spin on corner two as far as white America is concerned, from what I can see. You know what I mean? Like, and it makes me fucking depressed. It does. But where are we? I think the police chief should be applauded for firing the cops involved the day of. Oh, fucking A. Good work. He should be. Uh, he should also charge them, though. Arrest them. But I just showed up. Is this? Yeah, it was about Minnesota. All it takes is one bad apple. Da, da, da. Under the prison, yeah. Oh, all the cops that should be in prison. All the cops on that scene should be in prison. Total neglect of civic duty, let alone the actual job. Yeah. To be fair, if you're including homicide detectives, those guys are very smart. I'm sure they are. Yeah, like in reality. It's well known in America that police departments prefer not to hire smart people. That's crazy. But your average beat walker isn't required to be intelligent. Yeah. This reminds me of NASCAR and how much. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I know one policewoman and a friend from university, clever, witty, honest, fair, and incredible understanding of her environment. However, that's in England. Yeah, there we go. You have to go to college to be a cop. Not true. No. Bingo. Somewhere else, lol. Yeah. It's a battle between clear, obvious evil versus good. Being silent or ambivalent is just enabling the evil to continue. Fuck cops. Fuck cops. Yes, all cops. That was Natalie DS. Good stuff. And yeah, what was it? Was it? I think it was Desmond Tutu who said that if you're silent in the face of oppression, then you're choosing the side of the oppressor. Was it Tutu or was it Mandela? It was somebody against apartheid. It was somebody a big deal against apartheid. I'm fairly certain it was Tutu, but I'm gonna check again. I don't want to fucking get that wrong. If you are silent about oppression. If you're silent during my oppression. If you're neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. Desmond fucking Tutu. Nailed it. Anyway, where are we? College does not equal smart. Agreed. College equals time and monetary investment. Yes, that's also true. Instead of us being divided like the media and politicians push for, come together, become one community, and march on the governors, legislators, Congress, and the president. That's how change happens. Yeah, no shit. That's what the people in Minnesota are doing right now, John. Like, that's the point. That's what we're sitting here and chatting about it because we're not there. I'd be out there throwing bricks in solidarity, without a doubt, if I was there. But I'm not. So we're here chatting about it. Cops are civic servants in the literal sense, in theory at least. Yeah, exactly. I feel like the crazy emotional time we're dealing with, the virus lockdowns and all the emotions being high, maybe in a small way sparked things faster. Absolutely, probably played a part. A positive thing I saw was the University of Minneapolis renounced all ties with the police department there in response. It doesn't fit the problem, but it's something in place as some accountability. Yeah, I guess so. We should march on Washington. It helped us once and it'll help us again. Yeah, I'm not sure it'd be that all that helpful at the minute. Like, what are our options in Washington at the minute? We've got a fucking creepy old pedophile that fucking says stupid shit more often than he says smart shit, or we have a creepy old alleged pedophile that says stupid shit. Like it's fucking Trump or Trump light, right? Like Biden's not a fucking like I don't buy the whole vote blue no matter who or anything like that. Like Biden's fucking strange. He's just strange. He shouldn't have won the nomination, but here we are. He did. Anyway, I'll move on. Anyway, uh, I'll pass with COVID going around. Yeah, exactly. Because I just saw the question by Clark Nance. Why did he get stopped in the first place? Because they suspected him of paying the deli that he had been shopping at with a fraudulent check, counterfeit money. Certainly not a death sentence. Not worthy of a death sentence. Why is my alarm going off? You should be going off in an hour, not now. Da, da, da. It's definitely a race thing. Some people feel they're being accused of things they're not being accused of. Bad officers forget their civilians too. That's it. Absolutely. Bad officers start thinking there's an enemy. What's your take on Kyle Busch wrecking Chase Elliott? Oh yeah, that there is no way that was a fucking accident. You're telling me that you're Kyle Busch. You finish in the top 10 how many fucking times? Like I can understand, right? Like I was trying to get into the gap. I was trying to get into the. You hit his fucking like back door. You like that's you basically hit him halfway along the car. You know, like it was like you fucking totaled his rear quarter panel. You didn't just clip his fucking bumper. It wasn't a matter of inches of, oh, I messed up. It was a matter of, I need to get in that space and I don't care if I'm spinning this cunt while I do it. And he's just, apparently Chase Elliott's too nice a guy to give him payback or anything, but who knows, right? But yeah, there's that. That was my thoughts on the Kyle Busch thing. Fuck that guy. Saw Nemechek's fucking qualified reasonably well for tonight's race as well, so I'm excited for him. He was a good player to get around or get into, or maybe I'll turn. Yeah, there we go. That's better. All right. Bad officers forget the civilians they interact with. They're technically innocent until proven guilty, and they have to get them to court safely. Yeah, exactly. Scrolls. Uh, Not all cops or most of them, but a relatively high percentage compared to the population. Yep. We'll teach you about America. Thanks. Did they start there or did their environment just push them to that position? Both or either. Yeah, good point. Who's minding the officers? There's not one answer to that question when you're talking about people. That's true. Uh, as a black guy myself, that's so cringe. Black isn't a slur. Exactly. Right? Like, I was just like, fuck you. Like, literally, like, don't be offended for people who have their own agency and can be offended themselves, you fucking dumb cunt. But, I hate the term person of color. Open a box of crayons. White is a color. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right? And it's like, it's just a phrase that means not white. That's all it is. Like, just say not white. If you don't know, like, fuck. If that's what you mean, just say what you mean. Always the white feminist too. Yeah, exactly. Pink haired white feminist. Officer Derp didn't need to be crushing his neck anyways. You're really cool, dude. Anxious, and yes, I'm still here. Fucking glad to hear it, Austin. All the races in this country like their own bubble. They're like small countries. Oh, I suppose that's true. You're literally just not supposed to sit on someone's neck. It's not even procedure. You can have pain compliance positions, but don't fuck with necks and chest. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Hey, just tuning in. Hey, there's Shannon. Hey, Shan. You've probably been here a while, but hi. Da-da-da. That's probably be called in the 60s. Shannon saying hi. People think I'm racist just because I'm country, but that's not the case. Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, the chick next door calls me a cracker all the fucking time, thinks I'm racist just because I'm white, but it is what it is. Um, you have a nice day. Y'all have a nice day. I need to shower. Enjoy the shower. I treat everyone with respect and make sure they feel comfortable and not feel. Yep, that's cool. Mum sounds cool. My mum's a fucking legend. Um, uh, you're not a fuck up. Thanks, man. You got lucky in Utah. Yeah, exactly. Fuck profiling. Absolutely. Sorry. Once I get to the bottom, I will move on to the things that are still pissing me off. Sorry, guys. Hey, Squid, my man. Hey, DJ Huff. What's that? Appalachian hillbilly here. Yes, we have plumbing, electricity, shoes. Yeah, exactly. People are getting tired of the bullshit. That's it. College educations have the world's fastest supercomputer and maintain the nation's nuclear weapons. That's interesting. Love that metaphor with the books. Thanks, babe. You shouldn't be scared to be a good father. Just be one. Be there for him. Teach good values. My mum always taught me to treat everyone with respect. Yeah, absolutely. If you aren't living in a major city, anything gun related is pretty unlikely. That's true. I saw a comedy sketch of a hard ass Australian dude chewing out a cop until he stopped bothering him. Makes a little bit more sense now. Yeah, like it's fuck you. Like don't fucking be a dick. Like I literally pay. I mean, in Australia, you pay more tax than almost anywhere else in the fucking world. Right? Something like a quarter of every dollar you fucking earn goes to the government. They pay you cunts with some of that money, and I resent that. So you're gonna do what the fuck I want you to, and if you don't, I'm gonna tell you that you're not doing it right. Um, I only learned the other day as well that resisting arrest is a crime in America, regardless of whether the arrest is lawful or not. So in Australia or England, I'm fairly certain, you are like if you're being falsely arrested or falsely imprisoned or like they're taking you for a crime you didn't commit, you are legally okay to resist and fucking bail. Like you don't need to go to jail for a crime you didn't commit. As long as you rock up to court and prove that you didn't commit that crime, you know what I mean? Like you'll get a letter in the mail, go to court. But if you are being like you can resist arrest if the arrest is unwarranted. In Australia and in England, you just have to prove that the arrest was unwarranted. And if it wasn't unwarranted, then resisting arrest gets tacked onto your charge, whatever you were charged for. You know what I mean? But I only learned the other day in various states in America, they can literally arrest you for some bullshit they've made up. And if you don't go along with them and go perfectly according to that's resisting arrest, and they can fucking and even if their original charge was bogus, they've got you on the resisting. Like, there's just some absurd laws that need changing, I think. But anyway, I have guns, but rifles and shotguns. The only handgun I have is my grandfather's police revolver. Nice. Da, da, da. I've heard of this with Rio Tinto. Gotta go, guys. See you later. See you, Jimmy. You're probably already gone. Da, da, da. Thanks for joining the conversation. This is so important. Thanks, mate. Looks like Trump signed the executive order to restrict social. Oh, fuck. I've got to look into that. That's interesting. I wonder what he did. That'll be cool. Trump versus Twitter. Toddler throws tantrum, breaks favorite toy. Yeah. That's a good line. Michael, as a hillbilly, why do you think these things happen? Which things? The friction between the police and the African American population. We know why it happens, bro. Like, that's a silly question, don't you think? But anyway, sorry day sounds more like a Canadian thing. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Because the police are forgetting the people they're beating the people. Fucking bang, there we go. I had a theory on this a long time ago. It's a cycle. White people and black people respond to police differently because there's a different level of fear. Exactly. So you need to react. So you react to the police forcefully, nervously. You look like you've done something when in reality you're scared shitless. You're going to get ended for nothing. Exactly. That happens enough, and some officers, where are we? Get jaded to any difference and become who perpetuates the cycle. Become nobody's watching that because nobody's not watching them to make sure that they can still tell the difference between a scared innocent person and one hiding or trying to hide something. There's no understanding on the blue side. That's true. Well, at least for the troubled organizations, one is too many though. Exactly. I don't even understand right like that whole thin blue line or blue lives matter. Like that's your job, cunt. That's not your like fuck off. You're not blue. Blue lives matter. Fuck off. Fuck off. Like, that's just such wankery. And I don't mean it like as if blue lives don't matter, but there's no such thing as a blue life. You'd like, you can fucking take off your uniform. You'd clock out at the end of the day, you dumb cunt. Like, anyway. I don't call myself a POC or WOC. I'm a black American, lol. Overly PC white Americans say African American, yeah. So as to not try to offend us, but black isn't a bad word. Exactly. And it's like, fucking, yeah, exactly. Between 23andMe and Ancestry DNA, most of us didn't know our background and where, before, sorry, not between, before our background, where our people were stolen from. So Black America is who we are. Exactly. JewCon is a Hebrew convention. I had no idea. That's interesting. So, JewCon, lol, because of JewCon. That's funny. Fucking, you're coming out with the one-liners today, CJ. Yeah, that's fucking not bad. So many terms to describe people: black, African American, person of color. How about I just call you Shannon? Yeah, exactly, right? Like, um, you think, da da da. You think this fear is from the fact that they're from a different race, not consciously, but on a subtle level? Absolutely not. I think it's a learned fear. I think they've grown up seeing people like Mr. T, but not the equivalent of Mr. Rogers. You know what I mean? Like in the representation in the media is so important because it gives you the breadth, and you can go, oh yeah, like from a very young age, white people have the capacity to be Mr. Rogers or Jeffrey Dahmer. You know what I mean? Whereas the representation in the media, all we really had was you can be a football player or you can be a bad guy. Those were the options. And so not only did it have the effect on certain aspects of the community that then went out and went, well, you want me to be the bad guy? I'll fucking be the bad guy then, you know? Like, can you give me that badge? I'll wear it. But it also laid the subconscious into the people as well, other people. That's just my opinion. Again, who knows? I could be talking shit. I think the fear is self-perpetuating, but started from institutional racism in early mid-century. Absolutely. I have Asperger's, and there's terms like autistic person or person with autism. I really don't care. I just want people to call me by my name. Yeah, exactly, right? Same as me with bipolar. I'm like, I don't know if I have bipolar, if I am bipolar, if I live with bipolar, what the fuck, whatever it is, just call me Jules or Squid, even. But I only have ADHD. That's still a thing. I mean, it's not the oppression Olympics anyway. You're all good. Like, da, da, da. Thank you for the props for the Musketeers reference. But where are we? You're gonna watch the cup race tonight, definitely. That's how it's supposed to be, but now everyone is so selfish and individually minded that there is no sense of unity, even on a town to town basis. We firstly just need to demilitarize our police force and turn them more towards a what's it say? Socio-psychological role. Outsmart instead of hammer flat. Fucking A. Outsmart instead of hammer flat. I like that. But this grand experiment breaks here. There's 50 owners of these police organizations. Yeah, exactly. It's fucking hard. It's rough. It's a thing. But where am I? If you say shit like that, you won't get. The FBI has jurisdiction. If you say shit like that here, you won't get prosecuted, but you'll definitely get fired. I wonder what I said again. That's a big problem here. More fat. Fucking. No one faces repercussions. There we go. There we go. Bye, Catcher Harrison. You're probably already on. By the way, the only thing freedom of speech means is the government can't stop you from saying things. The ramifications for your fellow citizen, that's on you, bro. Yeah. So you can say whatever you want. Don't bitch when I punch you in the face for it. Do you think all the Western countries who always criticize America for its supposed racism would be any different under the same demographics? Well, no. Like the same. Like situated knowledge is situated knowledge. You know, like everyone. We are all a product of our context. And I don't even think America is more racist than Australia. I think Australia is far more racist than America. Like yeah, you guys had slaves without a doubt, but yeah, you ain't never had the fucking white America policy where you openly, outwardly stated that you would only want white migrants to come into your country, and that you actively gave different tests. Like you had a Chinese national come in, you would give them the nationality test in Arabic that day because they might have learned English. You don't know if they did or not, but they've got to pass the test in some random fucking language, like shit like that. Fucking blowing up 40,000-year-old cultural sites. We had the Prime Minister a couple of years say that Aboriginals living out on remote communities, so effectively like reservations and stuff, it was a lifestyle choice. And they needed to just move if there were mining companies that wanted to mine underneath it. Like, imagine your whole family's in a fucking region since time immemorial, 60 odd, 70 odd, 80 odd thousand years. And then some onion eating, big bat eared, like fucking, like oval headed fuck with a nose the size of a fucking joystick, says that where you're living's a lifestyle choice. Fuck off, you dumb cunt. Fuck off. But anyway, I'm going to keep reading comments. Then I'm going to move on to these last two things. It's already been 2 hours, though, so bear with me. Starting to need to pee. Actually, I'm just going to skip some of the comments. Sorry, guys. Come back down. Sometimes the only charge is resisting arrest without violence. That's fucking ridiculous. Ooh, a 99-cent super chat. I didn't see that before. That's fucking cool. Thank you. Oh, lots of stuff fucking being deleted. I'm just scrolling up at the minute. Just bear with me. Yeah, that was Harrison saying bye. If you pipe up in a restaurant or an open stage night, you can fully expect to get tossed out on your face, and it's not a violation of freedom of speech. That's true. America suffers the problem that most of our problems aren't hidden at all. That's true. Countries where these things are kept on the down low can happily point to America and say, look at all these idiots. Same shit that's happening over there, just happening. The thing that annoys me about people that point to America and say, look at all these idiots, right? Like I had a perfect example the other day, right? Somebody on my newsfeed shared a sign that said, it basically said, don't wear a mask, don't live in fear, stop the spread of Cuomonism, right? And it was shared by an Australian who was being like, "Oh, fucking Americans are so dumb. Look at the shit spelling of communism. Americans have like, oh man, the state of the world when America's like this." Like, not realizing that the fucking state governor of New York, where that sign was, is Governor Cuomo, and that person was actually not illiterate like they were thinking, but had come up with some clever play. I agree with it. I like Andrew Cuomo. You know what I mean? I think he's a top politician from everything I can see. I wouldn't mind him being president in 4 years. You know what I mean? And we can talk about that at some other point. But you know what I'm saying? And it's like that is the core of it for me. Is so many people, they look at Trump and they look at the state of play in America at the minute, and they read headlines and they think they understand. but no one does until you're here, until you actually understand the different inner machinations of power. Like the power structures aren't set up here the way they are elsewhere. Mayors of local towns have more power here than anywhere I've ever been in the world. State governors are effectively presidents, and the president is effectively the leader of the UN, but in America. You know what I mean? Like it's people can vote for Donald Trump and laugh about Donald Trump because unless you are like me, an immigrant, or something where a federal law might apply to you, it really doesn't make much difference. You know what I mean? It's sort of like a figurehead. It's not really like it's a big deal. It's an important position, but the things that impact your life or my life more specifically on a day-to-day basis, if I wasn't an immigrant and if Donald Trump didn't win votes by changing immigration laws, this is right. Like your mayor is more impactful than and your governor is more impactful than your president is. And so people talk about Trump and they go like as if he's got the same amount of power as a ScoMo or something. And he just doesn't, like it's just not the same thing. And people talk about America. There's a lot of tall poppy syndrome with America as well. America's and it's because Americans are so cocky about it. The American exceptionalism, the fucking, the we're the best no matter what. We're number one. You know what I mean? Like it can be a bit fucking grating to some people. But a lot of the time it's true. Also, where are we? Bobby Kennedy would have been the greatest president we ever had. Fucking oath. My mum named my brother after him, and they share a birthday with the man himself. That's fucking sick. That's awesome. Spelled Aeschylus for all y'all who want to look it up. Thank you very much, Michael. Everyone loved Bobby. Yeah, Bobby was a fucking legend, but more poetry themed streams, please. Absolutely, I'll get more into that for you. I actually wrote a poem the other day as well for the first time in like 6 months, so that's handy. I'll get onto that for you, for sure. I'll do one better, Jamie. Casual racism is now even more common in Europe because it's been given more attention in America. Look up some of the shenanigans in European football, soccer. All right, later, guys. Catch ya. Yep, 7 p.m. FS1. Nice. 45 minutes to go. When we declare wars on objects and ideas, wars on drugs, wars on crime, and so on, Aeschylus was right. In war, truth is the first casualty. Fucking boom. Like, I told you, Aeschylus is a sick gun, right? And to just, as a politician, be able to drop Aeschylus as well, like just casually, like it's a fucking, like it's a Jay-Z line, you know what I mean? Like, that's fucking sick. What do you think of all the Kyle Chase deal? Yep, I touched on that before. Which one am I going to eat? That's a good point. Hey, Megan, that's my cousin. That's the first time I've seen you in a live stream. You may or may not still be here, but hi. One of the many ones, not one of the ones CJ sent me. If you're a cop and you see another cop abusing or killing someone, looking the other way makes you a bad cop. Absolutely. Where are we? It's not just the individuals, it's the mindset and how officers are trained. Consider the Stanford prison experiment. It was supposed to last 2 weeks, but it was called off after 6 days. Yeah. I too like to eat crayons. When you're trained to believe that all people are guilty and that guilty people are subhuman, officers are trained to be aggressive and domineering. The combination of two creates monsters. Absolutely. Sup, bro? Hey, Kiwi. I don't know what all those messages being deleted are, but thank you, CJ. You're a sick cunt. Destroying shit isn't productive, though. No one asked for them to be productive. They're mourning. They're lashing out after being hit. You know what I mean? Like it's like I think they should be allowed to be a little bit unproductive in their wail. You know, like it's a. Like what do you expect of them? You know what I mean? Like if you, like genuinely speaking, if a whole bunch of people consistently over a course of many years had been killing one set of, like even if it was just gay white people, not just white people, but like even a smaller subsection of white people, you know what I mean? Like it'd be the end of the fucking world. It wouldn't matter about being productive, you know? Like fuck, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. Japan. Fucking America nuked the fuck out of Japan. You know what I mean? That wasn't very productive, but it was because they'd been fucking kicked in the dick at Pearl Harbor. You know what I mean? And people react and they lash out. And the issue isn't with the lashing out. The issue is with what they're reacting to, not how they're reacting, as far as I'm concerned. Um, hey, I just joined. Hello, everyone. Hey, Whispers. Oh, they're just going to send in the National Guard. That could be entertaining. You should do a watch party for the race. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like doing that sort of stuff. Like just copyright wise, I don't want to get fucking strikes and stuff. I'll probably do a reaction to it tomorrow or something. But yeah, woo. Yeah, just saw the super chat. That's cool. He's married to a black woman. Woman next door is racist. Yeah, exactly. Tell me about it. I don't know if they've actually made eye contact or seen each other at all, but yeah, she thinks I'm racist and she thinks I'm from the South. She doesn't recognize an Australian accent, evidently. Doesn't realize I'm not from this country at all. Thinks I'm a white racist redneck from the South. So, whatever. Doesn't bother me. She can think what she wants. It is what it is. I tried. Bought them chocolate and everything to make up for it, but they don't want to like me. They don't have to. It's all good. I did my best. Sad for the man that died. All those cops should be charged with murder. Absolutely. But people shouldn't be burning and rioting stores. It ain't right. Those people had nothing to do with it. See, we chatted about this before. They did. We all did. We didn't act when we should have. We're still not acting when we should be. There are many things that we as a society could be doing to make these issues disappear and to make the mourning of these issues and the experiencing of these issues easier and better on the black community. We need to come together, you know what I mean? And we need to stop these things from happening. And I can completely, like, I would be butthurt and pissed if somebody broke my shit because I didn't have anything to do with it, without a doubt. Completely understand where you're coming from there. But you also have to understand that it's a whale, you know, like it's not a, like, and I mean WAIL, not WHALE. You know what I mean? Like it's how many people have got to die. You know what I mean? Like Trayvon Martin, fucking George Floyd, fucking what was the last guy's name? The loose cigarettes, Eric Garner. Like how many people have to die? Like what do you want? What do you want them to do? You want them to just be like, oh, that annoyed me. Can you sign my change.org petition because they keep killing people that look like me? Like fuck no, break shit. Break shit. That's the only way we've ever got shit done, you know what I mean? Like how would you like it if back in the day Boston Tea Party was actually a fucking tea party between the people who are unhappy and those in power? You wouldn't. They just fucking chucked the tea in the water because they went, fuck these cunts, shit's got to change, you know? Like that's the American way. Like I don't buy into the don't riot argument. If shit is worth rioting over, fucking break shit. Absolutely have your voice heard. If the original charge was bogus, then resisting arrest charges almost always get dropped. Well, that's good to hear then. Sometimes the only charge, though, is resisting arrest without violence. That is such BS. How can you be arrested for resisting arrest if you were not being arrested for something else? Yeah, exactly. It's fucking crazy. Hey, Travis Parker. Oop, lost some there. Bear with me. Matched values. There we go. Only catch upside down, people. Hey, is that me? Because I'm from Australia. But it looks like the Trump internet law will prevent social media companies from censoring shit. Is that what they did, though? Like, they didn't censor anything. They just said maybe he was talking shit, which I'm just going to throw it out there. Like, dumb thing to do on Twitter's part. Like, don't start a beef with the fucking president of the United States. Censor someone else's fucking tweets. Do like not censor. Obviously, as I said, I don't think it is actually censorship. But if you're going to launch that sort of a fucking program or that sort of a thing on your platform, you know what I mean? Maybe don't start with the fucking guy like the biggest user on the platform, basically. You know what I mean? Who also happens to have nuclear codes. Like, oh, that seemed like a silly decision on Twitter's part to me. That was just like baiting. You know what I mean? Like it was you won't, and he went, watch me. But yeah, I'll have to look into that. There's more water. There it is. I am going to take a quick 2-minute break to go and pee. Feel free to stare at my wall. I'll be back. Fucking old man making noises as he gets up and sits down and stuff. I feel better now though. That's good. But yeah, I'll get to the bottom of these comments and then keep going with what I was doing. Where are we? It may end demonetization. That would be cool. That's not something I thought about. That would be handy. But yeah, anyway, you're talking about how media differs from what a group of You're talking about how media differs from what a group of people really are. Reminds me of the animated part of Fahrenheit 911, and refers to white people being afraid of black people. I can't. It's been a while since I've seen Fahrenheit 451. Sorry, Fahrenheit 911. Is it Fahrenheit 911 or is it 451? I thought it was Fahrenheit 451 because that's the temperature paper burns. I could be wrong. But anyway, it's been fucking ages since I've read that book. So I read it in high school. But the Trump law sort of violates the company's rights in order to protect the rights of the content creator. Yeah, we may not have had the White America Act, but we did have the Chinese Exclusion Act. All our immigration laws are based on racist origins. Makes sense. Onion-eating, bat-eared, oval-headed cunt might be the best phrase I've ever heard. He literally took a bite out of a raw onion on a news program once just because, I don't know, he thought it was a fucking apple or something. Like, fucking weird cunt. But it's mostly a culture thing. Netherlands has blackface parodies, and the Spanish Grand Prix has multiple blackface incidents. Yeah, okay. I don't really have a perspective on that. Like on blackface, there's the whole Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon stuff at the minute as well. But I'm like, 95% of what the media talks about in the US is negative/bad. On like 5%, only like 5% is ever good. Tall poppy syndrome, we call that. But anyway, during the Great Depression, President Hoover implemented a policy that deported Americans from American-born people of Mexican descent in order to free up jobs for real Americans. Wow, that's fucking. I mean, Hoover was a massive cunt anyway, wasn't he? He was the. What was he? He did something else. Was he Rushmore? No. Someone blew up Rushmore, which is like the Rio Tinto thing, but back then as well, because that was a sacred site, wasn't it? Right, hello. How you doing? Landon, I think that says, yep. I'm ready to watch the NASCAR race. Nice. That'll be in about half hour, yeah. Yep. Cool. Well, America has been effectively bragging about its greatness for decades, and as the primary superpower, we're a target for negative press. Exactly. If America can't take the criticism of other countries, they really should keep their mouths shut. FYI, un-American. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I agree to an extent, and I don't to an extent as well, because it's like NATO. We fund more than anyone else on a per capita basis, on a non-per capita basis. Like we've got fuckloads more money in that than anyone else. You know, like there's a whole bunch of different things that America does on a global scale. The Red Cross, fucking Amnesty, fucking, like there's so many different things. But no, I do agree. If we just stop flapping our gums so much, then we might get a little bit more respect for all the awesome things we do. But who knows? Um, what driver do you root for? If you get the NASCAR app, you can buy a subscription and listen to your favorite driver's radio. Love your vids. Keep it up. That's cool. I might have a look at that. My old man really likes Keselowski. That's his favorite driver, and as a result, I don't mind him. Like I enjoy watching him. I keep an eye out for him on the track. I like Boyer as well. I think he's a funny guy. And so I keep an eye out for him as well. Nemechek really impressed me in the first race I watched. And so now I'm keeping an eye out for him constantly. And I'm like, I think he's my number one guy. He's who I want to win. He's a rookie too. So I'm like, that's always a win, right? Always picking a rookie, young in their career. He hasn't had time to piss people off yet, which is good. I've been keeping an eye out for Jimmy Johnson as well, because I know it's his last year. It'd be cool for him to win an 8th in his last year, become the most winningest in terms of championships. And there were a couple of other names as well, actually. For some reason, I get this little go, with Kurt Busch, not Kyle Busch. I don't know what it is with Kurt Busch. I'm just like, I like seeing you race well, like in the number one. Like I feel like he's a talented driver. I haven't seen enough of him as a human being. I don't know if he's a wanker like his brother or not, but he's a driver that impresses me. But I don't really have a favorite team. I'm just going to watch, But well, you are from the south, just a lot further south than she thinks. Yeah, exactly. Live stream the race tonight. Probably not going to, because it'll mean that I will have been going when it starts. I will have been streaming for 3 hours, and it'll probably go for another fucking 3 or whatever, like however long they go for. So there's that. But I'm probably going to wrap it up before then. But I want to get to a couple of quick things that I was going to whinge about, and then opening my Milkman package as well. But let's get there. Bear with me. Quick, Shannon, take over the stream. That's funny. From what I understand, the executive order was to stop free social media platforms from potential prosecution regarding the posts of others on their platforms. So it opens them up to legal challenges and lawsuits. Oh, that's difficult. What are you angry about? I was angry about several things, but I will get to it in a second. The name of the book is Fahrenheit 451 in the book. Fahrenheit 9/11 was the film by Michael Moore. Well, there we go. I had no idea what you were talking about. Sorry about that. Of course, it could have been Bowling for Columbine. I might be wrong. I did watch Bowling for Columbine. I remember actually I had a drama teacher. Her name's Rosie Russell. She might be watching this. She's a fucking big fan of mine. I'm a big fan of hers as well. She was one of the only fucking teachers I actually had, even with my mum as a teacher, who just leveled with me and would talk to me like a normal human being. You know what I mean? She was fucking sick. And I helped her fucking put a retaining wall in her garden as an adult. You know what I mean? Like I've fucking... looking up, not looking up, fucking helping out, looking after her kid and all that sort of stuff. Like we became friends because she was friends with my mum and because she was my drama teacher. She was fucking sick. Oh, what is that? Anyway, there was nothing actually there. I was like, what is that feeling? Not what am I looking at? But what was I saying? Yeah, she played Bowling for Columbine for us at school because she thought it was such an impactful and important documentary, and we watched it and thought it was cool. But yeah, she got a fucking fair bit of strife for that. But yeah, best quote out of Bowling for Columbine is Marilyn Manson. Somebody says, "What would you have said to the boys if you could sit down and have a conversation? What would you say?" And he says, "I wouldn't say anything. I would sit down and listen, because that's obviously what no one did, which I thought was just like, to every single fucking Marilyn Manson hater out there, fuck you. He's the smartest cunt on that documentary. I've said cunt a lot in this fucking live stream. Anyway, fun fact: Hoover gave the American public such little help during the Great Depression that people would turn their pockets inside out and call them Hoover flags. Wow. He used to be a dick, but he's a lot better. Hey, you've caught up. Nice. The race on Sunday was a snooze fest, which is the same since last year's Coke 600 was good. I thought it was weird. Like I was talking to my old man about it, and I said they kept saying it was the longest race in NASCAR history, and he said something about like they have to do white or green, white, then black and white flags, and so because they had to do that a couple of times and stuff. Like I didn't really get the ending, but it is what it is. He used to be a dick, but he's a lot better. That was not about Hoover. That was about Kurt Busch. I'm now getting. That's cool. All right. Green and white checkered. That was it. Yeah. He used to be a dick. Da, da, da. Hey, you've caught up. I sure have. Thank you very much. The race on Sunday was a snooze fest. Yeah, already said that. Green light, check it. Already said that. All right. So the other things that had pissed me off, right, were stupid cunts at the 7-Eleven and virus deniers, right? So in this live stream, the guy I commented to about coronavirus fucking has commented back. So I will have to see what he said at some point and argue with him some other time. But I just basically he keeps shit. He's a chiropractor, right? And he's a good dude, and he's a really loving guy, and he's a soft, humble sort of man. And you know it irks me to critique him because I do like him so much. You know what I mean? I think he's a good dude. But yeah, he's a chiropractor in Camden, in a town where near where I grew up. And he's got a lot of influence in the area. You know what I mean? Like he's an author, he's a business owner, he knows lots of people through his line of work and all that sort of stuff. Like he's influential, and yeah, he just keeps sharing memes about like, oh, the flu's killed more people than coronavirus, or oh, I'm just helping people not to be panicked, and all of that sort of stuff. And it's like he's a chiropractor anyway, which is not a real doctor, but like. And offense meant if you're a chiropractor, it's like get a real job. But I'm kidding, obviously. But I mean, it is alternative medicine, right? Like chiropracticness. I don't fucking know. Like it'd just be called medicine if it worked. You know what I mean? Like that's it's the old joke. What do they call alternative medicine that works? Medicine. And so that is what it is. But and he gave me a couple of back massages, which certainly were nice. But like they weren't fucking $300 nice. Let me tell you. But yeah, anyway, long story short, don't mean to fucking throw his whole career under the bus. He just keeps talking shit about Corona. And so I posted this big long thing about him, how he's in a position of influence, about how it will be detrimental to his community if he doesn't take it seriously. And sure, like look at all the numbers in Australia. It's like everything, the lockdown worked there, everything came back down lower and all that sort of stuff. But it's like being in New York State compared to being in New South Wales, where he is, and he's saying, "Oh, it's all a hoax. Or these numbers are this, these numbers are that. The flu's more dangerous." Like more people have died in the state I am in now than the number of people that have died in New York, right? So I think it's at 29,000, 28,000 and something, right? So we'll say 28,000 just to be easy. Yeah, that is 4 times the amount of people that live in my hometown in Tamor. That's 5 times the amount of people that live in the town that he runs his runs his business. 5 times the amount of people that live in that town dead in my state alone here in this country. And then I open Facebook and look at my news feed and see bullshit like the flu's more dangerous. You know what I mean? And it made me cranky. I'm nowhere near as cranky as I was at the start of this stream because we've spoken. Oh, hey, a couple of super chats. That's cool. Thank you very much to Leah Nance. Are you guys all related? Leah Nance, Austin Nance. There was another Nance before as well. Sorry for not remembering you, other Nance. But yeah, are you guys all related, or is just Nance a really popular name in America? I'd never heard of it before coming here. But anyway, what was I saying before those super chats? Yeah, you're a legend. I'll read your super chats anyway. Clark Nance loves you. Clark, that was fucking funny. I should have just read the super chat. Fucking come on, squid. Clark Nance loves your videos. Please say hi. How you doing? Shout out to the Nance mob. You guys are. I don't know. The Nances make me dance. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something funny there. I'm probably saying it wrong as well, but is what it is. How you doing, Clark and Leah? Is it Leah or Lee? Because I know Leah is with an H, but you can have, or is it Leia? Maybe. No, that'd have an I in it. Anyway, thank you very much for the super chats. You're amazing. So yeah, you're absolutely legend. Wait for it. Dairy. What do you think of the Kyle Chase deal? Is Kyle Chase the one that said the N-word, or is Kyle Chase the Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott? Is that what you mean? Leo with a R. Nice. All right. Nice phonetics. I like that. But yeah, if you mean the Kyle and Chase Elliott, Kyle definitely put him into the wall on purpose, like spun him out on purpose. He definitely like I refuse to believe that a driver as good as fucking Kyle Busch, guy who's won as many races as Kyle Busch, guy who's finished in the top 10 as many as him, would hit the guy in his fucking passenger side door. You know what I mean? Like actually that's not the passenger side in this country, but you know what I'm saying. Like he hit him way too far up the car for that to have been just a flipping accident, in my opinion. I think he knew what he was doing, made it calculated. Like, well, if I don't spin this guy out, I'll have four cars go past me, so I'll just look like the dickhead at the minute. And he does embrace the heel roll well. Um, but yeah, he's a little flog, and I wanted Chase Elliott to punt when I saw like the guys waiting for him during the rain delay, right? Waiting for him next to. I was like, whoo, here we go, gonna see some hands thrown. But then they just had a fucking chat and sorted it out like men. Like, fucking fight, be mature, throw a punch, lose control of your emotions, entertain me, fuck yeah. But yeah, no, I thought it's a it's a strange thing that he didn't retaliate. Like they came back the next race day, and he was just like, oh yeah, it happens, mistakes are made, you know. It was unfortunate, and they were joking around and happy and stuff. And I'm like, hopefully someone gets him tonight, or hopefully they get payback or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to read some comments from before the super chat, and then I'm going to open this Milkman box because I've got 20 minutes until. And then I'll tell you the 7-Eleven thing as well. Actually, bear with me. They also called the shanty towns set up by the homeless people during the Depression favels. Fucking shit. That is rough. Um, Hoover pretty much inherited the Depression when he became president. Leo with a R. Bush Chase Elliott, of course, he ranked the most popular driver. The weird thing is, this is the second time in 3 years that Kyle does the exact same thing he did with Chase. Nope. And he did a terrible job. He cut taxes and spending when he shouldn't have, and he made the Depression massively worse. Fucking douchebag. All right. So the other thing I was going to say, 7-Eleven. Went to the 7-Eleven yesterday. It's a new 7-Eleven story, right? Fucking got there. They still have all the stickers on the ground, all the signs on the wall, everything like that. Still fucking as if the state's in lockdown, even though it's not. But I wear a mask anyway because I'm about to have a newborn. It's important that blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Get there. I'm in line. I'm waiting, right? And these three kids, teenagers, fucking right up on my back. So I move forward another 2 or 3 feet. They move forward again. I move forward again. So I'm practically at the register this time, but I'm just still maintaining my distance from the guy in front of me and from them. And they move forward again behind me. So they're standing like this fucking far away from me. And so I said, I just turned around and like said to the three of them in general, right? Can you guys like take a couple of steps back, please? Because I've been trying to move politely, and you're not getting it. To which the three of them just it was like I had fucking kicked their dog, you know what I mean, or insulted their mum, like one of them just started being like fucking just calling me the N word over and over again, right? Which made no sense because she was at best mixed, if not native or like she was a very light brown. She wasn't black, and her two friends were very black and were very uncomfortable with her saying that word very clearly. You know what I mean? Like they had more of an issue with it than I did because I was just like, fucking, who the fuck are you, bitch? Like, and one of the guy was like, oh, you didn't have to say it like that to me. I was like, bro, what do you mean? Like, there's stickers on the ground. Like, it's not rocket science. It's real easy. You know what I mean? Like, you guys aren't wearing masks. You're not like, and to which old mate's like, I'll call my dad down here, and he'll kick your ass. I was like, all right, you call your daddy if you want. Like, you can bring him down if you want. There are cameras all here and everything. Like, we'll just show him what you guys did and what I said, and that'll be fine. And she's like, well, I'm going to call him right now. And I was like, okay, go nuts. Give your daddy a call, sweetheart. Like, I'm sure daddy will fix your issues for you. To which then the three of them just started blowing up and calling me the N word and telling me like, fucking, I don't belong here and everything. Again, they thought I was English. No, one of them thought I was English, and the other two thought I was Irish, and kept telling me to go back to England and go back to Ireland, which is just like, go back to Ireland, you N word. Do you want to just like have a think about your insults for a sec? You dead shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, um, ended up bagging up my things and stuff. And like, I spoke, the chick from the 7-Eleven was like, said to them, well, there are stickers on the floor. And they're like, oh, well, he didn't have to say it like that. It's like what? You fucking dead shit. You just don't want to be told what to do. You're a teenager and you're a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Like, just fuck off. And when you get to off, after fucking off there, fuck off some more. Like, it's just, people shit me. So there was that as well. And that occurred. And I put that on my list of things to write about. But yeah, so basically, ran about Minnesota for an hour and a bit. Ranted about Rio Tinto blowing up cultural site in the Pilbara in the Yukon Gorge, or the Yukon Gorge, I don't know. That's it. 28,000-year-old tools for grinding down seeds, and potentially the first evidence we have for humans baking exploded in the effort to find coal. So that's fucking great, isn't it? You know what I mean? But anyway, during the truck race, he won 100% from the. During the truck race, he won 100K from the bounty issued from Kevin Harvick and the owner of Gander Trucks for charity to COVID-19. He beat Carl Busch. That's cool. I haven't watched the trucks yet, but I have to watch the trucks. I should get into that. He did a signature bow that Kyle Busch does when he wins. That's fucking funny. That's cool. So he knocked him out. He just beat Kyle Busch and got. That's cool of Kevin Harvick to like put a fucking. That's interesting. Anyway, I'm going to open this Milkman box. So, those of you who are with the channel for a while will know Milkman is one of my earliest sponsors. Was my first sponsor. Is now an affiliate of the channel as well. Fucking real, super cool company, right? But it's people. I just saw you're here too, Lance. Hey, Lance. Hadn't seen you in the chat yet. You're a legend. Welcome and whatnot. But yeah, like I like when I get angry, I just like I see red and I'm just like, fuck you. Don't like yeah. Anyway. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Like and yeah, they were like she then called her dad and she was like, this guy's out here cussing me. And so I said loudly, like, put him on speaker, And she wouldn't put him on speaker, so I ended up turning around and leaving, and then they all just were shouting after me, oh, where are you going, N-word? Where are you going, N-word? So I stopped and I was like, I'm going home. Your dad going to be here in 5 minutes? Like, because I got shit to do, like. And then they just fucked off and I fucked off and was annoyed for the rest of the day. But yeah, Milkman Grooming. They send me there's a logo. They send me a thing every quarter, 4 pages a year, to like promote their shit. I don't get paid by them or anything, but they send me stuff, which is nice. It's basically a payment, you know what I mean? And fucking hell, this is like Fort Knox. Do I still have my keys on me? Yes, I do still have my keys on me. But yeah, every quarter they'll send me like, these aren't my keys, these are my wife's keys actually, but they've got a Pikachu on them. They'll send me a quarter of stuff. Every quarter they send me some stuff. If you want to hit them up, there'll be a link in the description, or in the description of all of my other videos. There's a Milkman link as well. If you use code SQUID, you'll get 15% off. I get, I think, a kickback out of that 15% as well, so that's cool. Like, you get 15% off, and I get like 10 or 15% of whatever you've spent and stuff as well. And that's about, they're a big grooming company. They're sick, and you can get 15% off with my code, and I get like 10% of whatever you spend. So you're helping the channel out and you're helping your face out, because these are awesome products. If I can fucking get in here. I think I have a freshly, I'm really excited about a new product in here, which is called Freshly Baked. It's a new oil, which I am anticipating that they've put in here. They usually send a bit of King of Wood for me, because they know that's my favorite oil. King of Wood and the Any Balm, really. I think I said I needed a new brush for this one too. I'm just going to fucking rip open this box. Sorry, guys. Evidently I'm not, because I'm weak. Fuck me, this tape. What the fuck? All right, we've got half the box open. That'll do. No, it won't. second. Just moved all my weed stuff into the bedroom like earlier this morning. I would have had my chopping scissors just there that I could have used. It's a pain in the ass. I don't know why I'm being all like, I must open this box. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. That's better. Okay, nice and blacky tissue paper stuff. That's nice of them. I like tissue paper. Makes it like secure in the way. What is that? Oh, that's a contents list. That's cool. Alrighty, let me have a look here. I'm gonna read the letter and then I'll show you guys all the different things that are in there. I'll read it out loud, shall I? Oh wow, this is like nice thick cardboardy sort of paper, you know what I mean? Like, I love it when they've got good memes in there drop for me. Hi ambassadors / affiliates. It's finally time for the April 2020 merch drop. March felt like it went on forever. Are you ready for it? We sure are. Milkman goodies to cheer you up in an entire world lockdown. We hope you're safe and healthy, and if not, please rest and recover. In the meantime, check out these coronavirus memes that are going about town. That's money. I meant to say that's funny. That was a Freudian slip. As most of you all know, we've now moved down to the sunny Melbourne, Victoria. Surprisingly, it's been gorgeous weather, and of course, we're not allowed outside. In the past few months, Ben has been updating everyone with Instagram stories about the brand and the new warehouse space. Ben's the guy that owns Milkman Grooming. He's the one whose ad I answered way back when for a Milkman Grooming video. Actually, you know what? I'm going to chuck that in my must-see playlist after this. It's not my video. It's on Milkman Grooming's YouTube page. But yeah, I was a beard model. It's the very first time I had done modeling or anything like that. But I was a beard model for when they brought a barber, one of the best barbers in the country, in to do a YouTube video with all their products and stuff, and they just advertised for models who would get paid in product and for the day, you know, like minimum wage for a model. And yeah, I just sent him my fucking Instagram handle at the time, which had like, you know, 3,000 or 4,000 followers, and I got the gig and went in and did the modeling and everything. So I'll put that into the must see playlist for you guys as well after this. But I do use a grinder. Yes, I just saw that comment, CJ. I use a grinder. I grind everything down, and then I get my scissors and make it a little bit finer from there. But where are you? Tales from a 7-Eleven playlist. Does Milkman have any products that improve blood circulation so I can finally grow a beard? They do have vitamins and stuff like that, but the vitamins are just like any other vitamins you'd be able to take to get your testosterone pumping, if that makes sense. But yeah, if you can't grow a beard, you can't grow a beard, really. It's just genetics, I think, which is annoying and sad, but is what it is. Seriously, Tales from a 7-Eleven playlist needs to happen. All right. But yeah, Ben, check him out. Check Milkman in general out on social media. Their Instagram account's cool. Ben's really cool too. He's a really good dude. He took my first headshots. I actually, that day when we did all that, he had his phone. He had his camera out. Sorry, not his phone. Like it was a real schmick camera because he was doing all the YouTube recording and stuff. And he did like a before and after series for me, like of the products that had been used. And so like I had sent him, you know, I sent him an email the next day or the day after or something, being like, "Yo, those after shots, like, can I use some of those as my headshots? Do you mind sending me some of those and I'll pay you for them, you know, as headshots and stuff." And he just sent them to me and was just like, "You don't have to pay for them, man. You were the best model. You're a great model. You're a fucking sick cunt. Here, just have them." Like that's like a $500 thing, you know what I mean? Headshots for an actor or a model, that's a big deal. And he just fucking gave them to me, you know. And yeah, I've literally never used any other beard product since because Milkman are the bee's knees, just like my patrons are and whatnot. But where are we? And the new warehouse space. Throughout this whole time, all our ambassadors have been doing an amazing job with regular posts and updates. We can't thank you enough for this, but we'll try. We wanted to touch base and provide you with the latest releases. These are only a few due to the move. However, the next drop will be more impressive. In this drop, we've included, drum roll please, your 2 favorite Milkman products. Thanks for getting back to us so quickly. So the 2 things I suggested, I can't remember what they were. That's cool. That's the new freshly baked beard oil. Nice. New autumn leaves aftershave. That's interesting for when I clean up these. Autumn leaves. I wonder what that smells like. New wooden comb, a new round brush. That's dope. I needed a new wooden comb. I broke the teeth off mine a couple of days back or a week back. By the way, thanks for joining up on the affiliate program. This is where you can financially benefit from our products. We have included the affiliate program terms and conditions. You would have received your new code via email. Please ensure that they are updated on your social platforms so that your followers can get the discounts you offer and you can get paid. Absolutely. Thank you very much, guys. As I said, my code is SQUID 15% off. Click the link, the Milkman stuff. But yeah, we've got 10 minutes until the NASCAR starts, so I'm going to try and be quick. But where are we? Yeah, the freshly baked beard oil is the same grape formula, same different scent. Just explaining what everything is. Military brush with nylon bristles. That's fucking cool. Put the hard yards into growing your beard, so why not keep it looking lush with this stunning military-style beard brush? Here are some of its features. Handmade from quality, durable hardwood that's been given hardy, protective clear coat. Nylon bristles that are strong enough to brush the unruliest of beards, but gentle enough so as to not bother sensitive skin. Great for those that don't want to use a boar bristle. Laser-etched branding, so you can remind yourself that you left the that you let the coolest of brands near your precious man mane. Measures 63 millimeters wide and 103 millimeters long. Bristles are 20 meters long. Comes in an eco-friendly gift box to protect it during transit. It makes gifting this item as easy as pie. From all of us here at Milkman, actually, it's just Ben and I at the moment. We hope you're all safe and that you can enjoy these Milkman goodies. Ben and Jackie, Milkman Grooming. They're fucking awesome. Go and check out Milkman Grooming. Give them a look. Obviously, what I do with it. Here it is. They've got a Facebook page, a YouTube page, a fucking Instagram page. That's where I react with them the most on Instagram, but we'll see what this is. This is a beard oil for sure. Oh, bubble wrap too. Love bubble wrap. Get off, sticker. There you go. Well, that's a nice big bottle as well. And it's King of Wood, like I said. That's fucking sick. There we go, King of Wood. That's my favorite scent, and my wife's favorite scent too, actually. I'm going to put that back in there. I'm going to throw that over there. This will be another beard oil. It'll be a little smaller though, maybe, I think. Could be wrong. Maybe it's the same size. But fucking I'm in real trouble with opening shit today, evidently. This one is the freshly baked. Nice. I wonder what it smells like. Oh, fuck yeah. That might be my new favorite. I did just contemplate putting the smell up to the microphone, so that would have been very silly of me. Which one's this? I think this is just another King of Wood, because that's the two things I asked for was King of Wood and King of Wood. Yep, nice. Stocked back up on King of Wood. Shannon will be impressed with that, which is good. As I said, beard oil is really, really good. It keeps the moisture in. There's a process, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like if you wash your beard first, get your water in there, then you put the beard oil on. Because water and oil don't mix, you know what I mean? It's a fucking there's a word for it. They don't mix, but the oil, if it's on there, on top of the water, traps the moisture in, you're not going to get a dry, bristly beard and stuff. What one's this? Oh, this is the nice wooden one. Beard comb. Nice. Style, straighten, detangle. Bam. Premium wood beard comb. Nothing breaks the concentration of a man stroking his beard in deep thought like beard tangles. A beard comb is built to destroy tangles with thick, high-profile teeth that won't get caught in your hair. Leave your beard smooth like butter. Now you can forget the nuts and get back to the finer things in life like beard stroking. Oh, this is a nice big one too. Use it straight away. Yes. 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 Very nice. It's my new go-to, I reckon. That's cool. And then I got two big-ish things in here as well. This will be the aftershave serum, Autumn Leaves. I'm not going to take that out of its box, but there we go. And then this one will be the other, the gift box with the other comb or brush or whatever it was in it. How the fuck do I open it? There we go. Oh, wow, that is pretty. Milkman. One of these ones. Oh, that's super soft. That's nice. You can hear the softness through the beard as well, I reckon. I like that. That's nice. That's super nice. Fuck yeah, Milkman. You guys are mad. As always, check out them. Do me a solid. If you buy anything, I get a kickback, so that's all a win. There's nothing else in there. That's awesome. I'm happy with that. But yeah, the beard ASMR. That's funny. Yeah, I'm probably gonna head off now though. So if you're lots of people have left the chat and stuff, and it's been really fucking cool. This was a really really long one. I'm gonna get all the NASCAR set up and everything to watch now and stuff as well. But I am gonna head. But where are we? I'm gonna see the last few comments. Uh, NASCAR race in 10 minutes. Yep. Holy shit, you're still going. I sure am, Tim. I'm about to finish though. Um, I sniffed instinctively, then was immediately disappointed. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, there we go. That's cool. I'm going to put the new oil in, I reckon. And yeah, I'll see you guys when I look at you. But this has been really really fun. 3 hour long stream. I think this is the longest stream I've done. You guys are the best. Thank you to everyone that did the super chats. I think there were 3 or 4 in there. You guys are awesome. And thank you to everyone that's been here. If you're one of the 9 people that are still on the stream but you haven't hit the like button yet, I'm only 4 likes away from getting 50 likes. So that would be cool if you could do me a solid. Oh, there's one of you. That was awesome. But yeah, all good. I'm gonna wrap things up. So before I do, I might just I don't know what I'm gonna say. Thanks, Lance. Oh, we're at 49 now. The fuck did I do with my water? Found it. Hey, 50. There we go. Catches there. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. I will see you when I look at you. As always, you'll see me when you look at me. And yeah, check out my other playlist. Check out my stuff. I'm probably not going to film tonight because I'm going to watch the NASCAR, but I'll get back on the horse tomorrow. This has been good. Thanks for hearing me out, guys. Thanks for letting me vent about everything and everything. You know, let's fix it together somehow. As I said, I'll see you when I look at you. Thanks, guys. End stream.